to jump off, it's a fall off to hit with the side A.
Yeah, it's super weird. It looks so cool though.
And it's hard to predict because it doesn't look like anything's gonna happen, right?
Cannon's up A is so cool, and the captain, like they do like that flip with their feet.
Yeah.
And it's like everywhere his feet goes is a hit.
Yeah. I've been using actually both of them recently online. Oof. That was stupid. Julian, I didn't even look at the show notes. Do you have them?
I do. I think I posted them into the Skype chat. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, is that this link right here?
The last one, yeah. Have you? Okay, I'll run through questions for you. We're live now for the pre-show. I don't think anyone's watching or listening.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, we do. I do a pre and post. Daniel. It's
I thought
special.
the whole point of a pre-show was that we were like ready to go, and then when the show.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is like an honest look behind the scenes. You know. No.
Yeah, no, I like special features.
Have you? Yeah, exactly. It's like a special feature. Have you seen the new Age of Ultron trailer?
Yes.
Have you seen the new Daredevil trailer?
No.
What? You love Daredevil though.
I do. But, hey, if it's not on Twitter, I don't even know about it. Like,
show on Twitter. Why do you like Twitter?
I'm into it now. I'm fucking big into Twitter.
Yeah. Don't tell him it's dumb. He's finally doing something for.
No, I know, but he's just so stupid. Like he just writes things off, and then like once he finally experiences it, he's like, okay.
The thing I like about it is that it's not me. It's the podcast.
Oh, so you don't
express my own thoughts.
You know well, no, instead you're.
Yeah, but it's also a good news outlet, though.
Yeah, no, it really is. And I used to use Twitter, and I remember it being.
You just gotta pick the right people, and they'll always just post a link to a video right away.
Also, there's some people I want to delete off our feed, but I haven't yet because I want to talk to you guys about it. But.
Oh, really? Okay.
What do you mean off our feed? What do you mean though? What does that mean?
Off our Twitter, motherfuckers.
Like who we follow?
Yeah. Oh. People follow us. It's not a big deal.
People who follow us.
People can follow us. We can't like block people.
No, it's fine. It's not really that.
That doesn't make it. Well, do you know these people?
I guess we'll get into it later.
I guess.
If we're live right now, I'd rather not talk about it.
I guess. Okay. All right. That's interesting. Yeah. Don't disregard all. Okay. Have you seen? Did you watch the Power Rangers
yes.
fan film thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's old news. I don't think we should talk about that.
I just want to mention it because
it's kind of cool, but it's also everybody's doing that shit nowadays. You know.
Yeah.
It's a gritty reimagining of a childhood character that you wouldn't expect to get down.
Yeah, it sounds like a BuzzFeed article. Let's see what else.
What the fuck is this shit now?
What? Anyway,
show notes and this Google Chrome bullshit is.
Man, you don't use Google Chrome?
No, I do, and it's.
Are we talking about Jared Leto's new haircut and look?
Should we? I forgot about that. We should talk about it though.
This is what it looks like though. Like he's on the right.
Oh, he's on the right. On the left.
Left. Sorry. That's apparently for
Joker.
BVS.
Oh.
Superman. Obviously, it's not like that exact look, but like his hair has been bleached and shaved on the side.
Yeah. He's weird like that though. He's always been a method actor, so.
Well, it's not his choice. The director did.
No, but he's all about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he shaved off that Jesus beard.
Yeah.
my iPad auto-corrected Leto, or Letos, because I didn't put an apostrophe, to Legos. Okay, what else? I'd have to ask you guys if you've seen.
Stupid.
I think that's it. Oh, click on the link for the under comics and miscellaneous for the Superman Wonder Woman new look.
It's not a.
What do you mean new look?
Yeah, they have a new costume coming out in the comics.
In the comics.
Yeah.
You got the Chris Pine stuff in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh fuck that.
Man, good thing we're recording now because that's a hilarious reaction.
No, like the Wonder Woman's fine, whatever, but the Superman, like they made him look like Superboy. He's wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Like who gives a shit?
Oh, yeah.
And then Wonder Woman is not bad.
And then there's the Batman one.
I like that a lot.
That's good, right?
It's like the same stupid with pants everywhere.
It's fucking garbage.
The drawing's good though.
Yeah, I mean, cool, but then if you're just gonna draw Superboy,
Yeah.
what's Superboy gonna do? He's just gonna be bare chested with it.
Well, they did that on for like one of the promos for Smallville one year. Was with the Superman guy. It was like no shirt and his S was like painted on his chest.
Stupid.
Well, I actually agree with you on that one. What else?
Everybody's stupid.
Oh, did you see? I guess you saw the new trailer for Game of Thrones. I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And Community.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh man, it took me so long I couldn't watch it the same day it came out because like Yahoo didn't let me because of where I am. It's like, were you able to watch it?
Not right away. I had to wait, but it was up within a few hours on YouTube.
So I watched it. Well, that's good. That's good news.
Son of a fuck.
It looks pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It does.
It looks like
What
Community.
happens?
Yeah. Luke was Red 5, Rogue 5. Bro, do you even... That's funny. Will Wheaton. There's like... on Twitter, he captions this quote, and he's like, something about Luke being referred to as Rogue 5 in Star Wars. He's like, Luke was Red 5? What's Rogue 5? Bro, do you even Star Wars? Red 5 standing by. Red 6 standing by.
Porkins.
Who?
Porkins.
Perkins?
Porkins.
What?
The fat one, and they called him Porkins, and he died.
Oh, they actually call him that?
Yeah, that was his name.
Did they say that in the movie?
Yep.
No way.
Yep.
Mm-mm.
Look it up.
I will. I'm going to look it up right now. Show's going to start in about 8 minutes. Just so you guys.
I'm gonna leave my phone on silent, but I might have to use it a bit throughout the show.
That's fine. Porkins, as long as it's on silent.
My girlfriend's having one of those stupid like makeup parties.
Yeah, they're all there by now, right?
I would hope so, but it's not technically supposed to start till 7:30. Like our
Oh my
podcast.
god, that is the fat guy. That's hilarious.
Right?
Jack.
Yeah, I have to
Porkins.
buzz them in because they can't go to her fucking phone. So, in theory, any random person could be trying to get into my apartment. I'd be letting them in. I'm not answering the phone. I'm just pressing buzz in. Like,
Yeah, I guess, but like, are you really why would that happen? You know?
and honestly, like if they've scoped the place out, like they deserve to take my stuff. That would happen to it.
Jack Porkins was created by George Lucas for the 1977 Star Wars film episode, A New Hope, which was played by William. He was played by William
This guy
Hootkins.
named Amza is making him look pretty sweet.
I hate those fucking eggs. He's so like Yoshi and Ness are just so unpredictable because their jumps are so weird.
Did you went to new Amiibos?
No, they all look the same to me.
Well,
You
you
got
got
Sonic and Mega Man. Yeah.
Nah, there's lots of Mega Man in the city. And it's really
You don't know that.
man, it's so rare.
You got a Mega Man? Oh man,
Yeah.
that's so.
I went to Walmart and I had to get like a tablecloth. I was like,
I love that. Oh, I love this stuff.
Electronics
Yeah,
section.
this is our life now, Julie. It was a nice little Saturday. Had to go to Walmart and grab a check out some blinds.
Hit up
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go check out that section, and I go. But I swear to God, I was there like 3 days earlier, and then I go there and I see 3 Sonics and 1 Mega Man. I'm like, holy shit! So I cop 2 of them, or one of each.
One of I was gonna say you grabbed both. I'm like you're part
I
of
should
the
have followed
problem. No, that's part of the problem. You don't want to be that guy.
Jesus fucking Christ, that was.
It was like it's in fast forward, eh?
Oh,
But this is real time.
that was a ridiculous. That's what I gotta try. I'm gonna try to train on the falling off and hitting the move still.
Yeah.
So wait, you doing actual training?
That's solid, eh? When you're already pressing up.
Sorry, Jude?
You doing training for Smash?
No, like I just like while I'm playing, I'm gonna try to be cognizant of doing that.
Do you play online a lot?
Yeah, that's kind of the only thing we really
That's what
do.
we do.
Oh.
Just a long time ago, this new thing kind of ruined Smash a little bit because all we do is play
And
online.
I would agree because I guess we can save this for the podcast. We'll talk
Okay.
about that. Put that in.
I'll
Something.
Well, this is why you're supposed to add. Okay,
No,
I'll put it into
I'll-
what we're playing, what you're playing, watching.
Yeah, it ruins a lot of games here. Absolutely.
Well, like I recently started playing Mortal Kombat Deception just to get into the
Mortal
theme.
Kombat what?
Deception.
Oh, sweet.
But there's no online, and it's not even that there's no online, but the game just feels slower and just feels kind of cumbersome, and
You feel like you're not
I'm playing through the storyline, and it's just whatever. It's not actually.
The Conquest is so sweet, though.
It is. That's the
Imagine
that's
it was
the best
online
one.
populated, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hard to,
New
that's
seems like shitty, though, by the way.
The new ones?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? The new ones
It looks like
really
old
shit.
graphics again. The cutscenes are so gay.
The characters have always been kind of
They
cartoony.
need to like farm out their like story stuff to like other.
The
studios.
story's fine. The story is actually better than it's
just
ever
their
been.
voice acting, their animations, like the cutscenes.
I mean, what have you been watching? Because the voice acting, in my opinion, is
All the
pretty
trailers,
good.
like the Cage family trailer, like
Yeah, did you see all the Cassie Cage stuff
Yeah.
though? Like all of her openings? She's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
I don't know, but I just feel like they should just focus on the gameplay and the fighting, and then like
Well, I
farm
think
out
they have that stuff on down packed, you know?
Yeah.
That it's sort of one of those things, like Mortal Kombat's never been known for a story. It's always been kind of a joke, like, and it still is to a certain extent.
Mhm.
But they've definitely been putting a few more resources into the story.
fuck. Ugh,
What?
that's annoying. No, for whatever reason, the website like disconnected from my Facebook, so I need to. Really annoying.
You have to sync your account.
Yeah, to sync it. Well, now it's back on my. When I post now, post to my account, not the Tower of Babble one. Post in a page you manage. Yes, thank you, Tower of Babble. Boop boop boop. Done.
Crazy.
Yeah, in Melee too, if you held onto the ledge, they would like get up at a certain time, so the person would just fall through. But in Smash 4,
Yeah,
you get bumped off automatically.
Share on a page you manage. Done.
I don't know why we never really figured that out.
We did like towards the end. We did a lot.
We
of
never like
glitch
hanged on there, like waited and like moved up.
That was nice.
Do apps. Squarespace.
Yeah, Fox is the cheapest character. You got the shine and everything. They call
Yeah.
it the blue things. Shine.
Is that like the bounce back
Yeah.
maneuver thing? Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty nice. I've used Fox a decent amount.
He's quick.
All the best use Fox in Melee. It's just, and there's a shine spike. If you hit someone with a shine on the edge, like they just fall down. Like,
I haven't done that. I don't know if that's in the new game either.
and then Falco, he just took his shine spike away because he throws his.
Ooh.
Okay, so let's see now. Let me try.
Like a GG for like you just search Smash Bros. Like sometimes there'll be tournaments posted, and there's a Smash Bros. Facebook page too, like
Yep.
hardcore players like these guys from Winnipeg. But like
I wouldn't even want to be in the same room as these guys. Embarrassed.
Yeah.
Just my fucking link in there.
Nobody uses like.
Fuck, it's not working. I have to. If anyone knows how to actually do this, it's like, really, this is gonna happen now.
Oh, you just gotta enter your email or something.
I wish it was that easy. No, God, no.
That guy's all embarrassed because he lost to a Yoshi, which is like not a normal thing.
It's fucking. Oh, you know who pisses me off online a lot is the Villager.
Oh, I like the Villager.
Fucking
As long as
stupid.
if you're Fox or Mario and you got like a shine or a
Yeah, a lot of the slingshot.
yeah. I had one guy. I kept beating him, but non-stop slingshot. Like just like that's all he did. He jumped slingshot, slingshot.
That's one of those things. Like Melee was less balanced in that there were certain characters that you knew would just win, pretty much no matter what. Whereas this game, I've kind of won and lost. Each
Which
character.
game, really?
Yeah.
In terms of what, like playing somebody or just?
Yeah, like playing someone else. There were certain characters that were just like you know you're not going to win if you're playing as Ice Climbers almost every.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Versus this game, kind of I've both won and lost each character, like a skilled version of each character.
I gotta show you. Like, there's a guy called Wobble. He invented wobbles. which is
that doesn't sound like a real thing.
But you know how ridiculous that sounds.
but his name is Wobbles.
His name's Wobble. He invented wobbles.
He's really good at wobbling.
Because it's a move with ice climbers where you can use both of them. You grab them back and forth. It's fucking crazy. If you get it, it's like an instant kill.
Ice climbers.
And
they're not in there.
These characters look godlike, man. Like he'll like toss one to the girl and toss it back and then charge up the hammer with the girl and like it's fucking crazy.
All those ice climbers.
Yeah. Or wait, that's just...
Oh, we're late now.
Yeah, I know. I was just, but well, it's not my fault that
lied to everybody on Twitter.
I know.
It's set up fucking like you'll be like, holy shit.
Huh. That's weird. Doesn't want to go. I guess I'll have to post it manually.
So here, it's like a weird combo thing.
Okay, we'll go live in about
I'm saying
3 minutes.
That wasn't even an up you. That's the side B.
Oh yeah, that's triple A.
Jesus Christ.
See, like they're driving back and forth and hitting back and forth. So if you can do it properly, you can get them up to like 100 and whatever. Then you just smash them and it's an instant kill.
Damn.
This is like
so weird. Like Melee is a lot of fun, but it's also like in essence a broken game, right? Because you can do stuff like this. You should be able.
Yeah,
to do
but that you should though, because those characters, you have 2 characters. You should be able to, because if you don't do that, you can't really win.
That's fine, but there should be a way out of it. If it's actually unstoppable,
you can wiggle.
It's not balanced.
No, only if you can make the you can keep going with the triggers properly.
Yeah,
wobble. It's like snaking. Remember
but what the pros do, you have to get rid of Nana first.
Yeah.
So they go for Nana and they kill Nana.
It's the same with I played a couple times recently with Rosalina and Luna.
Oh yeah.
Get rid of those sprites right away.
Yeah.
That's so weird though, because like Mario Kart DS is considered a broken game because of snaking, right? And like, but this is allowed, like it's like embraced, I guess.
Well, this is the only person that does this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, there's a couple of guys, but like Ice Climbers will never win a major tournament. Like it just hasn't happened yet, even when they're using this stuff, right?
Because that's all they rely upon.
Kind of. There's another clip where it just looks ridiculous. Like he's throwing him, the dude is throwing him to Nana like above.
Jesus, even that Captain Falcon though, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. This is just a highlight of just wobbles, I guess.
Okay. All right. I can.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do it. God damn it. Yeah. Saving.
Did we not already talk about the Batman being rated M?
No. Nope.
We have.
Nope. We haven't had a show in 2.5 weeks. Although it does sound. I have these weird memories of things that never actually happened. Like I think we talked about something, but it just like I make a memory. No. But it's like I create them. It's what? I have what?
You have iron deficiency.
Is that what? What does that have to do with?
It's a thing.
You get a deja vu if you have an iron deficiency.
Some people, it's not like pure science.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people have hypothesized that it's an iron deficiency thing. So your brain processes a new experience as both a new experience and a memory at the same time. So it feels like deja vu, even though it's a new experience.
Just look it up or something.
That's super interesting, actually.
Well, I mean, think about it, like because your brain is doing this to yourself, right? Like it's not like you actually already experienced it. It's your brain is fucking up.
That's true.
So it's if it's firing on 2 axons at the same time, then this is what happens.
Firing on 2 what now?
Axons.
Oh. Interesting. Axons. Hilarious.
That's a fucking real word.
Hashtag podcast.
Well, we're late. We're losing people by the second.
Yeah, probably. All those 2 people. that may.
Well, we're live right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we're not really
live tweet this motherfucker.
What's the score on the Jets game before we start? I think it's 1-0 Panthers. Shit.
This motherfucker retweeted us. Come on now.
Who is this person tweeting you guys? I don't get it.
There's a bunch of them.
Why?
A couple people. Why? What do you mean why? Why would they want to talk to us losers? Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, ready? You guys want to start the show right now?
Yeah, let's do it already.
Intro music.
Tell them 3 questions or something.
I did ask them to do that, and I got some responses. So you'll see. All right, I'm gonna play the intro music right now.
42 seconds ago.
Listen.
All right. Why you can't just be a professional?
Oh God, you ruined the intro music. No, we gotta start over now.
We're not getting any music right now.
Well, I know because you just have to be quiet for like 15 seconds. Can you do that? Are you capable of that?
I don't know if I am.
Okay. Well, we're gonna go anyway, right? I'll tell you when I start to talk, you can talk. Okay?
Oh, is that how this works?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, right? Does that make me look crazy?
God damn it!
Like
You guys are the worst. You guys are the worst. All right.
Doesn't matter. Let's just start.
No. For real. This time for real though. Okay.
Look at the people go nuts. They can't even believe it.
Okay, yeah. Go. Turn this off. We gotta do this.
Hey, it's going. Not quiet. It's silent.
I know. It's just I can hear it. It's alright. We're just gonna talk over the intro music now. No, you ruined it. Okay. Now we're actually live. Welcome to the Tower of Babble Podcast, episode 51. Our 51, I feel like is a big number, because it's one after 50, and 50 is half of a century, right? It's like I feel like we're onto a new stage. I feel like we're onto.
Shut up already.
I feel like no, seriously, for a minute,
That's
indulge
not bad.
me.
We've been doing this for a while, almost a year now.
So. Exactly. So I'm Julian. If you guys are new to this, I'm Julian. I'm the one of 3 hosts. Daniel.
Stop.
Jeremy.
Yo.
And I'm going to try something different this time, Dan. For those who have never listened to the show before, or this is maybe their first time or whatever, I want you to describe what we do here. Okay?
What?
You have to tell the people what we do. What's the show about?
One second.
How professional.
I'm having popcorn. You just talk about this kind of stuff that we're interested in: movies, TVs, game shows, all that stuff.
Game shows. We talk about game shows.
TV shows and video games.
Price is Right and stuff.
Man, that's new to me actually. Anyway, you're right though. We talk about games, movies, TV, but mostly like the nerdy stuff. We don't talk. Well, we do talk about some of the like more classical films, usually around the Oscars, but the rest of the time it's all comic book stuff and Star Wars and Star Trek and all that jazz. But let's jump into the show. So it's been about 2.5 weeks since our last show. We are live for those of you who are listening to us on iTunes right now. You can join us live for our shows. Just keep an eye on our Twitter at Tower Babblecast, and you will get all the details about when you can tune in and listen in and chat with us live. That's, like I said, at Tower Babblecast. So, let's start with some movie talk. We're going to break it into, like we used to do it, if you've been around for a long time Tower Babble listener. We used to break it up into like categories of like mediums, right? So, television, movies, comics, games. We're going to try that again, okay? So, we're going to start with movies. And I think we have to start with the passing of Leonard Nimoy, which could be both in television and film, but he's been in film, so it has to be the first thing we talk about. Leonard Nimoy, Spock, passed away, I think at, I'm not sure at what age, but he was quite old.
82.
Yeah. And he was essentially smoking. He died essentially. It wasn't lung cancer, but it was just another smoking-related illness.
Is Shatner older than him?
Yeah.
But Shatner just looks younger because he's like more plump.
Yeah,
Leonard Nimoy had a lot of wrinkles and stuff, right? He just looked.
Yeah, he looked older. But yeah, I mean, I think Spock at Star Trek was like. It's important to mention it because Star Trek really was like the first of its kind of a show of a show that's science fiction that really like hit mainstream and became and being popular. Spock, and obviously Kirk and Spock, that relationship dynamic is very important. But Spock being like, Leonard Nimoy was great in that role, right? And it's he's a science fiction icon, and it's really sad to see him go.
Of course.
So I think, unless you guys have anything else you want to say about Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, life well lived. You know, he went on like a chant. Like it's like mission accomplished. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Live long and prosper, right?
But it's not one of those that like it's not. It's sad because we lose a great, but at the same time it's like he did like he lived his life.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a huge part in the Star Wars reboot movie, like a huge part, like
Star Trek.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. He almost
J.J. Abrams one.
Yeah, he was almost the main character in that movie.
Yeah,
him and his younger counterpart,
played by Zach Quinto, right?
Mm-hmm. And he showed up in the second one, didn't he? Too.
Yep.
So that's cool that he got that one last.
Yeah, it connected the old Star Wars with the new Star Wars, which is I think important.
Yeah. And he was in Transformers.
Oh yeah. In the animated.
No, his voice acting was actually pretty cool in those movies.
He played Galvatron. I think.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a huge twist, right? He was supposed to be a good guy.
Yeah.
And he was kind of the bad guy. It turns out at the end.
Yeah, that movie's really weird. I mean, if you
second one, right? Yeah.
No. Oh well.
Was it?
Are we talking about no? Are you talking like the live action movies or the animated movie from the 80s?
Live action.
Because he was in the 80s movie.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, but I'm more so talking about live action.
Yeah, he played that other guy, like the ancient one or something like that, right? Anyway, that's not important. He was just he was a science fiction icon. That's what's important.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so moving on to another classic science fiction. I don't know if this is even science fiction. I don't know what it would be. Power Rangers. Was that science fiction? Is that right?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a great segue, but okay.
Well, I mean, you got to move on at some point. So, Power/Rangers fan film. You guys watched it, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't want to see it.
Love it.
You loved it?
Loved it.
Actually?
But I love it for the same reasons that I love like Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Then you
it's cool shit.
Then you should watch Pacific Rim.
Oh, fuck that movie.
Dan, you continue to confound
me. Guess what? My mind is made up. Let's move on.
Yeah,
okay, whatever. Your mind was made up about Twitter too before, so that's fine. Anyway, no, I didn't love it. I just thought I would never want to see a whole movie like that. Like maybe like a video like they did with the Mortal Kombat series online.
Yeah.
Like a web series. That would be cool. But apparently, like they cost a lot of money to do that. Like the director, who's
and they're not really making much money off of it, right?
I don't think they're making any.
Well, a little bit. They gotta be.
No, I don't think because they're using other people's IP, right? So you can't make money off of it.
Just a passion project resume type thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't. There's on Slash Film. The Slash Film guys do an interview with the director. It's really good, cool. The director seems like a really cool guy. He does a lot of like music videos and commercials, and I can't remember the movie. He directed one movie. I just don't remember what it was called. Anyway, he just like does this stuff for fun, essentially. I love that. Who is the guy with the robot leg in the actor in the actual Power Ranger movie?
Dawson's Creek.
Is he from Dawson's Creek?
Yeah. What's his name? James Vanderbeek.
Yeah. I thought and then they had obviously Battlestar Galactica.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff. Again, if you guys are not new to Tower of Babble, I'm the worst with remembering names. or just things in general, I think. Anyway, I thought it was fun. It was over the top, and that was why it was fun. I don't know if it. It shouldn't be a full movie. Like I said, that doesn't need to happen, and it won't. I mean, they are rebooting. God, I hate that word.
They're rebooting fucking everything. So
no, I know. I'm just saying they're
outside the possibility.
Yeah, but Power Rangers.
I don't think it'll get picked up or anything.
No. But Power Rangers is actually being rebooted, and they did before that movie, like the fan film came out. They talked about it wanting it to be more like gritty. I don't think they meant this gritty.
Yeah, of course. I mean, at its heart, it's still a kids show, right? Like.
Yeah, exactly. because if you go back and watch, it's tough, man. It's not good. Okay, it's actually a really cool story about how they did all, like, how Power Rangers happened, and like the fact that it became so popular. And like they bought, essentially what they did is they hired a few actors, right? The male, like the cast, and they were shooting in, California, whatever, right? But they bought like all the Zord stuff and like the fighting stuff was all like from a Japanese show from like 6 years before Power Rangers even aired, right? And they just bought all this like footage, right? And then they used it to they cut it in to. It always made sense because the actual actors were like clearly not even the same body size and shape as like when they had their masks on. Yeah. But then they ran out of that footage after the first season. They didn't think it would be that they cut it as much show as they could. I think it was like 50 episodes was the first season, something stupid, crazy like that. And then they ran out of that footage, right? So they had to start making their own in the second season. So instead of like they did in the first season, fighting on beaches and like in all these like cool locations, like in the forest and stuff, all of a sudden now they're fighting the Putty Patrol in like SoCal parks and like down the road from the studio. It's actually pretty funny when you look back at it. But either way, it's a cool. I think everyone watched Power Rangers when we were kids. Everyone. It was just the thing that everyone did.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk about real news. Okay. Warner Brothers CEO Kevin Tsujihara, who's actually kind of new in the position, says that their superhero films, the DC films, are, quote, edgier than Marvel's movies.
I love that you call that real news.
Yeah, I know. I love that. I love that quote. I love that it's like there might as well be this. He might as well be in a YouTube comments page.
Yeah.
But he's the CEO. I don't know why he needs to go out and say these kinds of things. It's kind of silly. You don't have to say that. As a CEO, you probably shouldn't. Like why antagonize?
It's not even. It's just like a weird sort of.
It's true though.
But DC's always technically been quote unquote edgier.
Studio heads and creative minds always have these little shots though behind the scenes.
You're not accomplishing anything by.
I know. I'm saying Kevin Feige. I don't know what he said, but I remember him saying like little things about like what they're doing and what people haven't done in the past. He said he said he'd give advice to DC. He said just stick to your your old school stories, like just things like that. That's taking shots.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I love how it's like how usually it's so very like PC, right? And it's like, we respect their work and blah blah blah, but we're concentrating on our own things right now. But then he's like, no, man, we're way edgier than them. That's somehow better. Like, does that make it better? Is edgier better? Not necessarily.
It's sort of the way the time.
This can all be taken out of context too, right? Like,
yeah.
Maybe someone's like, can you describe like what you do different than Marvel or whatever?
That's probably true because I'm sure they get that question every day, all day.
Yeah, because they know the 900-pound elephant in the room is the fact that Marvel is kicking ass and DC has barely started their train.
Small elephant.
A 900-pound elephant.
Elephants are more.
Yeah, you don't have to say the weight. Just say the elephant in the room.
Well, no. But there's another part. There's another way you can say that saying where like they say the something pound elephant. Maybe it's 9. No, 900-pound elephant sounds right to me. 900 pounds is very heavy.
I would just go with 1,000.
I mean, 900 pounds is heavy if you're a person, not an elephant.
900 pounds if you're a person is not possible.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, so more DC news. Jeremy, I think you'll like this one. So obviously, DC's rebooted their cinematic universe. So Green Lantern with, that one came out a few years ago, off the table. Let's pretend it doesn't even exist. Not even talk about it. So they need
the last movie?
The last one, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds. So the next one isn't for a while, but we're probably going to see Green Lantern in the Justice League film before he has his own, right? So they need to cast a new Hal Jordan, I guess. So they're looking. We had talked about this before, whether they go with Hal Jordan or maybe Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner or something different. So it turns out, looks like they're looking for another Hal Jordan. And it's going to be, according to rumor, and Latino Review is really good at usually right on with these things, is Chris Pine, Captain Kirk himself.
Mind you, he's rumored for it. It doesn't
rumored. Yes.
Yeah, they just said they're approaching it. He could just say no.
That's true.
But he wouldn't be a bad choice.
No, yeah, I've already thought about him before. Like, I've had like a whole list
I can
of
see
people.
I've thought about him before, just in different
No,
ways.
He's got a bunch of pictures in his bedroom.
No, if you look back at the podcast, I've mentioned his name before.
Yeah,
I said him or Bradley Cooper, and then when I think about it more so now, obviously, because he's been talking about now, he just makes more sense because his career, you know what I mean? Like he's not a huge star, but he's pretty big, and like people know of him.
He's the right.
And
right
I think Justice League needs one more big name. I don't want another no name like Ezra Miller, who's the Flash.
Well,
the guy
thing
who's
is,
Cyborg.
Green Lantern is one of those roles that you kind of need a bit of a name to carry it. Whereas Superman and Batman, you can use even though they aren't, you could use a new name. Versus, Green Lantern needs somebody to carry the role a little bit. They need people to be interested in it.
No, I don't think you do, because who was Chris Hemsworth before Thor, right? And that's a character that no one gave a crap about.
Yeah, but his character and his body is just larger than life, anyways, right? He just, he's a big, outgoing person. Kind of.
I mean, I guess it could be written properly. I don't know. I feel like Green Lantern needs, especially after the last movie, needs somebody to carry the role rather than just throw somebody into the role.
And about a week ago, there's a rumor that there was a no name because on the IMDb credits it said
for Batman versus
drone. It said drone pilot, or whatever, for the credit. And then you go to the picture of the guy, and he looks like the comic book version of Hal Jordan. Like the brown, slick back hair. All his photos had like leather jackets, like brown leather jackets. It looked like him, but I thought it'd be cool, but like I don't know, I want a little bit of star power behind him, just a little bit. And Chris Pine's a lot, I think. And his movie, everyone's saying his Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit kind of bombed.
Yeah.
So everything is bombing for him, kind of, I guess, right? That spy movie he did with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
That was a rom-com.
I guess so. But
disguised as a movie.
His biggest movie is Star Trek. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, Kirk and Hal Jordan are very similar characters.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Also excites me a lot because I think he can pull it off very well, better than Ryan Reynolds. I think because Ryan Reynolds was too much of the comedy.
Too Van Wilder. He was,
Right.
But yeah, Dan, that was a great point because I was going to bring up the same thing. Do you think he might say no because he doesn't want to get typecast and?
It's very hard to say yes to this role, and apparently The Rock turned down Green Lantern. I think they were offering Rock Green Lantern as well.
I don't know. It's a hard thing to say no to, and for him, like I guess it's a commitment thing because Star Trek is huge.
You just have to look at the big picture because Justice League is not going away. Obviously, Green Lantern had a bad past, but the subject, the stories are there. They just did it wrong. And imagine him with Ben Affleck; those two playing off each other.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I also feel like the Justice League is still on the brink. It's not a sure thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think
they have all these movies lined up, but it hasn't really won the crowd like Marvel has.
And they have all these names attached, right? They have all like big names for Suicide Squad.
Next movies come out, will be fine, but
yeah, I mean, it's
I think it's already in the bag.
They still have a point to prove.
I know, but it's already in the bag. It's called Batman vs Superman.
I mean, they sunk a lot of money into it. Yeah,
I know. All these heroes are showing up. Jason Momoa is, he has a cameo in it. Like, it's going to be huge. People are going to be going nuts when they see these characters, and then the movie ends, and like they just can't wait for the next one. Like,
I mean, you guys, does this happen to you when you're thinking about Batman vs Superman and how excited you are for it, and you go think, what if Ben Affleck's not good as Batman? Like he's getting anxiety.
No. I'm already convinced he's going to be good. I think I rewatched The Town. I watched The Town like every
The Town's a big movie.
4 months, I feel like. And then I just watched, it's one of my favorite movies, seriously.
It's a good movie, but Jesus.
And then I just watched Argo again. Like
I have never seen Argo.
Well, Argo.
So watch it because his persona in that movie is it's not very much Batman, but like he's very like low key and like
more dour.
Just always about his plans and like I don't know. It just. You should watch Argo.
No, it's on my list. I just haven't taken the time
apparently, Ben Affleck might direct the solo Batman movie with the writers.
He's
Argo.
a great director.
Yeah,
I can't think of anything that he's directed that I haven't liked. So
that's true.
And yeah, I don't know. Chris Pine, I think, is the right choice. If not him, I can't think of any other celebrity that I'd want other than him.
Okay. Wow, that your list shrank very quickly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so The Rock, speaking of The Rock, has teased that the Shazam movie might actually happen sooner than was previously planned, right? Because I don't know what the exact date was, but he's kind of teasing that, that the DC list of films that they have in that order. It might not be set in stone, and they might be moving up his Rock, or I guess Black Adam, Shazam movie to earlier in the schedule. I'm not sure if that, it's so much more out there than, I mean, I guess it's no more out there than Doctor Strange or anything, but it just seems like to move that up earlier above more easily accessible characters is an interesting move if that's true.
Well, the reason why is because The Rock. He's a huge, bankable star.
He's got a lot of star power.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about this whole thing is that they're like, who the heck are they going to cast as Shazam? The movie basically hinges on that.
Well, that's the thing. You need someone
like
with the same type of star power.
You're acting like it doesn't matter. It's just like The Rock is the bad guy in it, and that's all that matters.
Buy a ticket now.
Yeah. Well, he keeps talking about how he's going to be like an anti-hero, and like he said anti-hero, I swear, every single time that there's an interview about Black Adam, he drops the word anti-hero at some point, which is so weird. When I think of
villains these days, because like you need to write them in a more intelligent way, right? It's not just like I want to rob a bank. It's just like they're doing something for a reason.
My favorite description of any time someone talks about villains is they have to be the hero of their own story, and like you understand, when you look at like the best villains, right? Magneto doesn't see himself as a villain, right? He sees himself as doing the right thing to save mutant kind, and in his mind, he's the hero, right?
Same with Sinestro.
Exactly. And eventually at some point they kind of see themselves from a different perspective, and they kind of see what they've done wrong or whatever. But they've usually something along the lines of they've come too far, or if they've done too much to be redeemed now. Something along those lines usually happens, but it's still those are the best kind of villains.
And people like Loki, he's a fan favorite, but he's like just a villain to be a villain almost, right? Like he doesn't think he's the hero.
He's the god of mischief.
Yeah, he doesn't think he's the hero of his own.
He's different because he just fucks around for the sake of fucking around.
Right.
Well, then no. What were his motivations in Avengers? Let's go back to that. Why did he do all the things he did?
What happened in Thor is that he discovered he was not Odin's actual son; he was an adopted son, and so there's a little bit of the struggle between the son and the father, and then he wants to prove himself and kind of exceed or succeed his father.
His plan was
Okay,
that makes sense. So his plan was to enslave mankind, kinda, right? All right,
in Avengers, he was working with Thanos so the Earth would have been his, that realm would have been his, not Asgard. So Asgard would have still been his father's, but he would be looked at as an equal in his father's eyes after having taken Earth.
Yeah, that makes sense. As the god of Midgard or whatever is. Okay.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. More DC stuff. We found a replacement for Tom Hardy in Suicide Squad. He was going to play Rick Flag. But now, RoboCop's Joel Kinnaman is taking on the role for the... Sorry?
The dude from The Killing.
Oh, nice. I love that guy.
He's good. And still, nobody knows who Rick Flag is.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess fair. Did you guys like the RoboCop reboot?
Never saw it.
It did not interest me from the trailers, and I haven't seen it since.
It's not that good. It's entertaining, but it's not that good. But Joel Kinnaman's probably the best part of that movie.
He's great. He's a good actor. It's fine. It's just, I also never liked RoboCop before this reboot.
It's tough though because he plays part robot in the film, so it's like it's hard to get a grasp on how good an actor he actually is because half the time he looks like a robot, So
not in the beginning.
No, but it does. It's not very long. It doesn't take very long before he turns into RoboCop. Anyway, so that's cool. That we don't have to worry about that anymore. Suicide Squad's still on track. It's supposed to be filming right away. And
Joker has a new look.
Exactly. Jared Leto shaved off his Jesus beard and is now blonde.
Not the ombre, as they call it.
What?
It's called an ombre when the tips of your long hair is a different color.
Oh.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, my
I've heard the
girls
term
have brown hair,
yeah.
and the bottom is lighter, they dipped it in
That's called ombre.
Ombre. Yeah.
Oh,
that's called ombre.
No,
we just lost half our viewers.
It's not like Yeah, no, it's not like an hombre, like your
No, it's hombre,
Spanish
no.
brother.
That's what your girlfriend's discussing right now. Don't worry.
Anyway,
Sure, Hermano, whatever. Never mind.
anyway, the point is, okay, so Jared Leto tweets out a picture. David Ayer tweets out a picture.
Director.
Yeah, tweets out should we cut it? And he's got like a scissors and it looked like it was long hair. People thought it might have been what's her name, who's playing Harley Quinn.
Margot Robbie. Or
Yeah.
Oh,
But anyway, it turns out it was Jared Leto.
Damn, right?
And then Jared Leto tweets out a picture later, and he's got short hair
or something,
and it's bleached like white essentially.
It's a little different, but whatever.
But then the makeup artist on staff for the Suicide Squad tweeted out an image of green hair dye the same day.
So you bleach it, then you dye it green, right?
Exactly.
That makes perfect sense.
Because you can't bleach black hair green. It wouldn't look right. So you bleach it white first.
But she could just be messing around and So.
Yeah,
I feel like that one's real. I feel like that wouldn't be the person to fuck around, you know?
Yeah, because you're more likely, if you fuck around as the makeup artist, you can find a new makeup artist, you know?
Yeah.
And even the last incarnation of the Joker, like the gritty, like realistic Dark Knight, the Joker still wears the makeup with the green hair. Like, it's just always going to happen.
Well, those are staples. Yeah, it has to be that way.
Well, I mean, in the last one, it was makeup. It's not always makeup, right? In the comics, it's never really made clear. I mean, in the original Batman '89, right? It was with.
His skin was just white.
Yeah, and weird.
From the chemicals.
Yeah. From the chemicals. It makes perfect sense. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss about DC before we move on?
Oh, move on.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Well, no, that sounds like you have something to say.
I just really hope the Chris Pine rumor is true.
I mean, out of everything we've heard so far, like that is the best bet. You know?
Well, I know,
and
it's
totally redeem everything. Like, goddamn.
It's Latino Review, and they're usually, like you said, they're approaching him, right? And they're usually dead on. But I mean, he could turn it down.
I think they don't have a list of when they were wrong, though. You know what I mean? Like
of Latino Review stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was.
But yeah. No, actually, no, they're pretty good because the one big one was when they wanted Christian Bale to come back as Batman or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we found out that Christian Bale actually said no to it and all that stuff. So.
Well, they've leaked so many things, or leaked, or were scooped a lot of things first. It happens all. They're good.
And the wording in this post or whatever they're talking about is that Warner Bros. Has approached. They want. Chris Pine.
Nothing's set in stone.
Which means it's all up to Chris Pine basically and his agents.
Yeah, and his schedule if he can fit it in. Like
they don't know about comic books. They don't. They just know about Marvel and how successful they are, and they know how unsuccessful DC characters other than Batman have been. And they'll be like, "Look at Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds in 2011. You don't want to be a part of that." But The Rock is signed on. All Suicide Squad members, Will Smith and Leto. Like this DC slate and this movies they have planned out is going to be something special.
It definitely has a lot more star power.
And it looks like it's going to be done right. So they're going to be like, you know what? You might want to jump on this train right now, and this is a perfect opportunity.
Mm-hmm. It's a good looking train.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The D train.
The D train. Do you think that Warner Brothers all aboard the Warner Brothers D train? All right. Anyway, let's talk about some Marvel stuff. The M train. New Ultron trailer. New Age of Ultron. A lot more action packed. This one, not as like slow piano. The somber piano it was replaced in this one with like a guitar. I think
they took a look.
They were listening to our show and they wanted to change it up. No, but you needed to do an action heavy.
Sure, trailer. I mean I don't know if you needed to, but they did, and that's fine. What pisses me off more than anything else in the world is
that's rare. This is better be really important. I'm like this. What are you gonna say next?
Earlier in that same week, the trailer was being released on Thursday, and I think it was like a Monday, maybe Tuesday, that they were like, "Oh, here's a teaser for the teaser trailer."
Yeah, that happens all the time now.
Fucking the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
We're only
already a teaser. You don't need another teaser for a teaser. It's redundant.
We're only we're only a few
Hate it.
years away from being a teaser for the teaser of the teaser, Dan. It's
I don't know. For whatever reason, this one really pissed me off.
And we're so like close to this movie being released. Like
it's
Yeah,
I know.
Just fucking leave it alone.
we've even said before we should stop watching trailers. We all watch this one. But, like we need to stop because
I'm
we're
gonna pick a
ruining
movie.
it.
I'm gonna pick a movie and just never watch anything.
Like how many scenes in this new trailer you see Captain America fighting Ultron? Like,
Yeah.
do we think that was gonna happen? No. He loses his shield at one point. Do you like? Oh, we know what happens now. Fucking.
Or even like we know that Iron Man and the Hulk are gonna have a big fight. You
And
know?
then we just see more and more of it.
part of
And
the-
we're
yeah,
seeing more and more of it.
So like, but there's nothing new.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
but
gonna
hold
watch
on.
the movie, be like, oh yeah, I remember that from the trailer.
Yeah. There's really nothing new that we're seeing. Honestly.
Hold the phone, guys. Listen.
No, fuck.
What are you supposed to no, what are they supposed to do? Not release a trailer? Like I don't
Yes, they've already released trailers.
No,
now
no,
you release the fucking movie.
I release TV spots, not 2.5-minute trailers anymore. We get it. You know.
No, I
all-
get- okay,
all
there's
plugging
only-
itself and all this shit.
This is the last theatrical trailer you get before the movie comes
Yeah,
out.
no, usually do 3. That's the standard, I guess. But
Yeah.
I'm just more mad at myself that I watched it, kind of thing.
No, see, no, don't, because when I look at that, I'm saying that's 2 minutes, right, of a 2-hour movie. Okay, there is so much stuff that you're not even seeing. Who cares if you know that they're gonna have a fight? You're gonna get to see the whole Hulk.
No, but
and,
to a certain extent, it takes away from the experience.
I don't say no. This is an ongoing debate we've had forever now. It doesn't. You're not gonna think back in a theater.
Yeah.
For me, it does.
For me, it does too.
No, you're gonna go into the movie
In
thinking,
the
oh man,
first Avengers
I wish
movie-
I didn't know that the Hulk and Iron Man were gonna fight in this.
No,
Like-
in the first Avengers movie, there was a one of the trailers showed the Hulk catching Iron Man after he falls out of the portal there, or the
Yeah.
worm, whatever you want to call
That's
it.
true. I do remember
Like that's the climax. That is a huge part of the movie that like the entire time that whole fight with the Chitauri is happening. You're like, oh, when's Iron Man gonna fall and the Hulk's gonna catch him? Like. It's not
Yeah, but
like
that
the,
could
at the
have-
forefront of
yeah.
my brain, but at the same time, I know that hasn't happened yet, so it's going to happen. And then when it happens, I'm not like, oh shit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
okay,
oh
but
yeah.
Also,
There's
yeah.
no way to measure, but at the end of the day, like seriously, like if you don't see and you don't know what's going to happen, it's going to be better than if you know.
Well, I don't. You can't. I don't think you can make that.
That's why you're saying it
distinctive.
doesn't matter to you because you can't understand it.
I think the thing is, those trailers are not made for us. They're made for people who don't normally look
Exactly.
for this kind of news.
And like I was saying with Captain America's shield, he loses it. If you're watching him, oh shit, what the hell? How's he gonna
Right?
fight him with no
Yeah.
shield?
Yeah.
He's gotta improvise. No, Black Widow picks it up and gives it back to him.
Yeah, so that's already given away.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
things like
but like I said, there's so many more other scenes that you're gonna
Of
be.
course, but
Yeah.
at
we
the
know
same
there's
time,
more minutes and hours of movie, but they're showing distinct important parts. We don't. You know what I mean?
I guarantee you, there's gonna be better parts that are
Probably
not shown.
better.
yeah, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna love the movie. Like that's not in question. I'm sick of seeing this shit. And to a certain extent, it is our own fault
Yeah,
for watching
that's
it, right?
what
Like
I'm saying
Jeremy
too.
said.
Yeah, it's like, we have no one to blame but ourselves. Again, it doesn't bug me. I'm more looking forward to like the character moments anyway. You know,
Yeah,
like
of course, and that's what was
Yeah,
surprising
there's-
and great about the first.
There's
Avengers
going to be a
movie.
lot because in this trailer you see them. It's like in the Iron Man 3 thing. There's a point where like they kind of lose everything, right? With maybe with Shield and all that stuff being
Yeah.
down. There's these moments where they're in like, these apartments or houses and they're kind of like, "What do we do? We're off the grid. We're alone."
Yeah,
now."
they're all in like their
there's
Sunday
gonna-
clothes.
Yeah, exactly. So there's gonna be a lot of moments like that, which I love. But again, they even showed us that there's gonna be a lot of those moments.
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah, because that moment where they're all kind of sitting around sipping on their tea or coffee, talking about stuff, then Ultron comes out, and then the Ultron robots.
yeah,
attack
that's
them.
one. But then in this new trailer, there's another one where they're kind of like they don't know what to do, and like, so yeah, I don't know.
well, yeah. I mean, I think we can all agree we're gonna see the movie. We go through this all the time. We watch the trailers and we all say, "Yeah, we're gonna see that movie, and we're gonna pay." Well, I would see it twice probably, you know, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. I mean, the fact that it's already here, it's like it feels like Avengers was just happened, not that long ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, so Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, will be in Cap 3. He kind of leaked that one out maybe a little bit, before it was supposed to. That's not so surprising because you can't really have a Civil War movie unless you have more characters in it. So,
Captain America 3 is like a mini Batman versus Superman almost. Like
Yeah.
it's Cap versus Iron Man.
It's gonna be a mini Avengers, yeah.
can I just say that meme going around with the like 3 images with like Tony Stark and then Cap and then Civil War, and it's like that meme that people keep doing it all the time. It's so funny. If you disagree about something, it's like Iron Man says this, Cap says this, Civil War, and it's about like the most simple things. It's like I like coffee, I like tea, Civil War. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying that I was sitting down at work because I was absolutely dead. Not a person in the restaurant.
So busy.
And it just dawned on me. I'm like, it was only like a year ago when we were saying how amazing would it be to have a Civil War movie. We're like, they have to do it. We're talking like this has to happen. This is good, like the coolest thing ever. And now it's actually happening. It's like it doesn't even. You don't even. It's like it was announced and we don't even bat an eye. You know. Anymore, it's like of course Civil War is gonna happen, right?
And we always thought it'd be one of the main Avengers movies too.
Yeah. It's
a no-brainer that it should be a Cap movie, especially with the success of Winter Soldier.
Oh man, yeah, Winter Soldier was so good, right? Like, if it's half
It
as good as awesome.
It could have been an Avengers movie. They just have other stuff on their plate.
But then the directors of the Cap movie, they're being pursued basically to make the next Avengers movies.
Yeah,
they want them to help.
The Russo Bros.
Yeah, it's Joss. The
Russo Bros. I want to see that video game.
Definitely brain fried from.
Well, it's a lot of work, yeah.
And they've done Community. I think they did some Community this season. I think too. Actually, I'm not sure for sure. I'm not positive.
They only did a lot of season 2. I don't know if they've done this season.
A little bit more Marvel. This is kind of tangentially related. Hugh Jackman is still pumping the tires on the Wolverine/Avengers crossover thing that he keeps talking about. In a recent interview, he says he continues to be optimistic that Wolverine will one day star alongside the Avengers in the movies. Quote, 2 years ago, I'd have said you'd be a real optimist to think it'd ever happen. But weirdly now, I just think it maybe could. I think there's the possibility that it will happen, unquote.
They're always saying that. He's absolutely right. Like,
that's because he wants it, right?
I know, but he's just saying the possibility. Like,
of course,
Spider-Man, right? That happened.
Look what's just happened, yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned Spider-Man saying, yeah, like Spider-Man happened. If that can happen, anything can happen, is what he's saying.
Which is true.
And then he's like, they asked him, like, well, if you could only pick one other Marvel character you wanted to star alongside, he's like, it had to be Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. If it was just had to be one other one, you know? That'd be a pretty cool movie, actually. Iron Man and Wolverine? What, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They don't really, like, I don't know if they would really gel together.
No. I do Iron Man Hulk is what I do. Or, sorry, Wolverine Hulk, yeah.
Well, like, against each other? Or?
No, whatever happens in it, like...
Whatever happens, man.
Or maybe it's like a one-off, like, maybe not a full-blown movie, but like a high-budget, like Wolverine versus Hulk, you know?
Yeah,
like
cool.
The original comic.
I don't know, I think, and this has been done in the comics before, but Wolverine and Captain America, it makes the most sense. Yeah. They're almost opposites in the way they approach things, but then when they work together...
and how their lives have been.
Cool dynamic,
they're older and stuff.
Plus, they could have done stuff in World War II together, like in the TV show.
Didn't he do a mission with Cap in the X-Men TV show?
Yeah. He was
in World War II.
Their cover shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that episode because.
But Wolverine didn't have his claws back then.
He had bone claws. It was stupid.
No. They gave him.
They gave him attachments.
Yeah, attachments like try out these bud or something like this. You had to climb the wall.
Yeah. I remember that thinking like, you have to give Wolverine claws again? You could have gone with the bone claws or something, but instead they gave him like these spikes that looked exactly like.
Yeah, then it would have opened up more like conversation about like what the heck is wrong with you.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else do we have? More Marvel stuff. More. Director James Gunn may have broke the news a bit early, and it's not anything San Diego Comic-Con's fans want to hear. But according to a tweet from the Guardians of the Galaxy director, Marvel won't be appearing at the San Diego Comic-Con this summer. Yeah. That's pretty big. I mean, I think they've pretty much owned the news cycle at SDCC the last 5 years probably now, where they announced something. Although maybe last year DC might have one-upped them with that Batman vs Superman clip. That might have been the biggest news out of San Diego last year, but other than that, they've pretty much owned it. It's weird.
And just with the actors showing up, like
Ben
Affleck and Henry.
Oh yeah, it's where the first time we saw the Avengers together was at San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah. Right. So, I mean, maybe they're saving it to do their own thing, or
I think that's most likely the case.
It's like Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like kind of like
they're just Disney in general, right? They're just so big. Like Disney have their own like stores and malls now. Like
they're too big. They don't even care about this shit. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah,
my initial thought was maybe like just like too busy with doing like just like getting things done and like
they don't like, they got a lot going on, man. Marvel Studios.
They get any actors.
They don't want to pull these actors away from movie sets, like like. Eventually,
I think what it is, is the actual bump you get in whatever PR or whatever that you get out of having a big Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con is actually become less and less important, right? Because that used to be.
And is the Comic-Con before Avengers 2 comes out?
No, it's in
August. So Avengers 2 comes out.
Yeah.
That's their movie of it. Is there another Marvel movie coming up this year?
Ant-Man.
Oh, an Ant-Man. So
Nobody cares about Ant-Man.
Exactly, right? So why do you need all these coming to do hype for what?
Yeah, and because you don't have they probably don't have any footage.
And then Ant-Man's coming up. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and they probably don't have any footage anyway, right? Like of what their next movies haven't started filming yet. You mean
exactly? So there's just no reason to do this hype train.
Yeah.
The H train here. When these movies are coming out for a while.
That's fair. I mean, they'll have more maybe Netflix stuff to show, but by then Daredevil will be out already as well. So, I mean, maybe some stuff from Jessica Jones or Iron Fist. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Yeah, I don't know. I'll just they'll probably be at New York Comic Con, even if it's small. So we'll still get our Marvel news anyway. There's literally Marvel news every single week. I could do this show every single week, and there'll always be something to talk about that relates to Marvel and what they're doing with their MCU. Every single week. Oscars. So we'll move on from the comic book stuff for a couple minutes here.
You don't want a Daredevil trailer?
Oh, well, I mean, that was in the movies. We're in the movie section.
We didn't talk about it, though.
No, but because we're in the movie section.
Oh. Then
I guess it's...
You categorize this terribly.
Why? What? How would you do it differently?
We just talked about Marvel, the characters, then we talked about Comic-Con, then Netflix. It's like...
And then move it on.
Straight into Daredevil trailer.
Okay, well, yeah, we could talk about the Daredevil trailer. It's close enough because it's MCU, so I'll allow it this one time. So, okay, it's very the new Daredevil trailer for Netflix. It's coming soon. It's only like less than a month away, right? It drops in this is March. So it drops in April, doesn't it?
April, yeah.
And
busy month.
Very Wilson Fisk heavy. A lot of Kingpin in this trailer. Do you like his look? The guy who's playing him?
Yeah, that's a classic look.
It's perfect.
Big, bald, and
it's everything you want out of Kingpin.
And like I followed actors throughout the years. Like he's not a great actor. Like he's actually pretty good, but he wasn't in like a lot of high prolific things.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually noticed that he was gaining weight. Like he didn't gain weight for the show. He was just naturally gaining weight and like getting fat. Like
on his way.
Yeah. So yeah.
Would you say he's plump, like Shatner? Anyway, yeah, it just looks really dark and gritty. We can come back to what kind of what DC was saying earlier. It's like, yeah, their movies might be like that, but there's room for for dark and gritty in the MCU. It's like really dark especially compared to like Avengers stuff. But I think that's a good thing. It's like this. Okay, so I saw an article today. I didn't put it in the news feed, but there's like an article about how Marvel's doing their merchandising for the new Spider-Man deal and all this stuff, and they said they're not even marketing. They're not even going to create children-friendly toys and stuff for Daredevil, like at least the Netflix Daredevil, because it's not really targeted at them.
Yeah, it's M for mature.
Yeah. There might be like a special edition, like for older people, like an expensive action figure.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing. Yeah,
that makes all the sense in the world. Daredevil's not supposed to be anything but that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Luke Cage, the guy who's playing Luke Cage, he had said a couple weeks ago that Jessica Jones and the Luke Cage series are like very mature and very much aimed towards like a mature audience. So that's good, I think. And, there's definitely room in the MCU for kid stuff. Like there definitely is, because comic books shouldn't be. I've thought this for a while now, but comic books should not all be like dark and gritty and violent and swears and nudity and like all that stuff, because comic books should be for kids too, right? And they need, like, if that stuff was like that when we were kids, we wouldn't.
But there's room for both.
Yeah, there is, but
that's what Marvel's doing, and it's perfect.
Exactly. To go one way or fully the other is foolish, right? So can I move on to the Oscars now, Jeremy? Am I allowed?
I guess so.
It's kind of a segue, though.
Well, I mean, like, okay.
Just kidding. Go.
I'm not good at. I can't do segues all the time. I need to depend on you guys to maybe toss me a bone, an Oscar-shaped bone. Anyway, so they might be going down to. We talked in our Oscar show about how they have a 10-movie Best Picture nomination category, right? Used to be 5. They raised it to 10 after the Dark Knight controversy, and then how last year they only nominated 8, right?
Yeah.
So they're talking that they're probably going to go back to 5 movies. The Academy kind of saying that the bump, they actually are getting less viewership, so having those other movies in the the Best Picture race anyway didn't really do anything, and they didn't even use those spots to place those more high-profile films anyway. So there's no point, and they says it dilutes the brand essentially of Best Picture if there's too many nominees. What do you think?
That makes sense. I mean,
I don't know.
There's gonna be 10. At least
there's
3 of them aren't
plenty
gonna
of room.
win.
You might as well have them on the list, even if they don't win. You might as well have them
Then
considered. Have
that
people talking
kind of
about
ruins
it.
their.
What's the point then? Yeah, like what's even the
Well,
point?
the importance is who wins, right? That's the one that gets the prestige. The rest of them are nominated because
there is no prestige if you just throw 10 and whatever.
No,
right?
then there's no prestige being nominated. There's still prestige to win.
No. Because
What's
if you
they make it in the top 5 of the Academy Awards nominations, that's the prestige. You ruin the prestige when you just throw 10. It's like, hey, obviously these ones aren't going to win.
Yeah,
Okay, so what you're saying is like the people who are nominated but don't win aren't as prestigious as.
Yeah, they're not. It's just it was a ploy to just get more viewership or whatever, right? Like,
it didn't work.
It's so weird how these award shows work too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we talk about this. How there's like
they're of two minds.
There's a schism there, right? Between what they want viewers, but they also want to promote the best art, right? And those things don't usually necessarily go together. So a dichotomy, if you will. We can move on from that, though. But I'll just mention that American Sniper, which was nominated for Best Picture, right, is now the highest-grossing film of 2014. It's grossed
in America.
Nope, worldwide. $337,000 million. $337 million, Daniel.
That's a lot of dollars.
0.2 million, excuse me. 337.
How many of that is in the southern states?
I guess I got 300 million. So it passed Mockingjay and Guardians of the Galaxy. I guess just this last week for the #1 spot, and just this last week fell out of the top 10 films, grossing films of the week. Crazy. It's weird when these kind of things happen.
That's news to me. Like,
I think it's worth mentioning for sure. Don't you think?
I feel like I don't care.
I would have mentioned this. I mean, if Guardians of the Galaxy was the highest grossing film of the year, that's worth mentioning. But if it's American Sniper, then it's not.
I don't really care much about what's the highest grossing film of the year.
It matters.
A million people like something doesn't mean I don't know.
No, I know, but it matters because it tells us.
General consensus of what do people
enjoy. What the lowest common denominator is.
Not always. Like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy, we all agreed is a great movie. So just because it's if it was the most popular, does that mean it?
And we still have our list of like Titanic and The Dark Knight and like all these movies that have made the most. Right? It's just cool to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And this is just that's just of the last year. Last year, 2014 will always have American Sniper as the highest grossing film of that year forever now. That is kind of depressing, to be fair, because the movie's really not that good. Sony is planning a Ghostbusters cinematic universe that could, according to rumor, would feature a movie directed by the Russo brothers. Okay, talked about them, and star Channing Tatum in a male-led Ghostbusters film. The team at Sony that's heading this project apparently includes original director Ivan Reitman, who directed the original Ghostbusters films, and Dan Aykroyd. Anyway, so here's Reitman to Deadline. Quote, "My primary focus is to build the Ghostbusters into the universe it always promised it might become," unquote. That's a really weird quote, because I don't think they ever there was no implicit promise there. There's no
absolutely not. Yeah, at that point, it was just a movie. Like, they weren't planning this whole big cinematic universe. So
they made two movies.
The second one they kind of were. It fell off.
This is 20 years ago. Like,
I know, yeah, long ass time ago, absolutely.
More than
second
that,
movie,
30 years ago.
Like, second movie, they were like celebrities in their own movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they added a new character, people wanted to be them. Like, it was going somewhere.
Yeah.
I understand like Marvel's doing very well with their quote unquote like their cinematic universe, and DC's doing their own thing, and those would make sense because of the subject, but because they have that much to talk about.
It's a
like
rich world.
They have that many characters and that many actual individual movies that they can produce. Whereas Ghostbusters, I don't know. I read a thing recently on Slash Film about Robin Hood wanting to do a cinematic universe.
Isn't that hilarious?
Fucking garbage. Like,
what would be the movies? You'd have like what, a Little John movie?
The article said that they were gonna have a different movie for all the merry men. So you get a Little John and a Friar Tuck.
Who's going to see a Friar Tuck movie?
Nobody gives a shit about it. But is this the new thing now? Instead of doing now we're doing cinematic universes.
Hey, so do you remember that Dracula movie?
For anything? Next, we're gonna have a Sailor Moon cinematic universe.
Hey, relax. Rant over for a second. Anyway, yes, it is the new thing. Do you remember that Dracula movie that came out last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're actually they kind of retconned it. It's now the first movie in a Monsters cinematic universe.
Son of a bitch! You don't retcon Dracula. That's
no. So what I'm saying is that movie was not. It was supposed to be a standalone movie, but now it's been out already. They said it is now the first movie in a universe that they're going to have like a Frankenstein movie and a Mummy movie and all these things. It's going to be all within that same like
Mommy Untold, Frankenstein Untold.
It's fine. It's all well and good to make those movies and to have a contemporary version of those movies because it's been a while, sure, whatever. But they don't have to be connected. They weren't before. They were just fucking movies.
You know what else they're doing? They're also doing a cinematic universe for.
Cinematic universe. That's what works.
There's a line. Come on,
that's what's successful. People imitate that. That's what's going to happen.
I know, and I think it's deplorable.
It's not deplorable.
It is ridiculous.
It happens
because you're not doing it for a creative purpose. You're doing it just because it makes money.
Once it exists and it happens, then you can judge it if it's good or bad. You know what I mean?
It doesn't just because they're trying. They shouldn't be. You shouldn't attack them for trying. You know?
Okay, guess what? If you want to try, then create your own universe, right? You don't take these things that exist
again. These are
separate from each other and you just create a universe.
No, those monsters are pretty similar. Like,
none of them are connected though.
Yeah, no, but like Van Helsing,
did that,
right? That's a cool
but that was
thing.
very loose.
And with the popularity of vampires and werewolves and those TV shows,
sure,
it's cool to group them together. It makes sense.
They're also doing
it's all there, but
they're also doing.
And again, you're just freaking out over these words, like freaked out over part one and part
two.
It's just a term. He just said that because that's the popular thing to say.
And that's what I take issue with.
No, but technically everything's a cinematic universe. Lord of the Rings is a cinematic universe. Like that's technically a cinematic universe.
Yeah, and they could make another movie in that movie.
But it wasn't designed.
It's the same.
It wasn't designed like that. They don't have press.
Whatever. Maybe designing it from the get go is a good thing. Maybe that's what they'll make it.
I mean, yeah, foresight probably would be a good thing,
exactly.
But this is not something that necessitates that. Like,
I don't know.
I love it. I love the argument. I don't know. They're also doing a King Kong one. Skull Island is supposed to be the first of a King Kong extent cinematic universe. So there's that as well. So.
Fucking God.
Say that word, it's just going to take a while.
Yeah, I know. Just the word cinematic universe. I'm just going to say CU from now. Get on the C train.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Zoolander 2. Zoolander 2 is confirmed for February 2016.
Sweet fucking Zoolander cinematic universe.
It's just so...
Oh, the sequel.
Damn.
It's just called the sequel, yeah. This one. Okay, this is great, though. The news comes from both Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson, who appeared appropriately at Valentino's Fashion Week as their characters Derek and Hansel to make the announcement. That's fucking awesome. I want to see that.
Yeah, so it didn't really come from them. It just came from that fashion show. Like all of a sudden they just came out wearing the clothes and in character.
Derelict.
And they probably filmed a lot of it too, right?
Yeah.
They used a lot of it.
Anyway, Will Ferrell's...
Look.
They're obviously coming back, Will Wilson and Ben Stiller, but then...
that was fun, the first movie.
Yeah. Will Ferrell is apparently also supposed to be coming back as Mugatu, the inventor of the piano key necktie. Anyway, this makes me so happy. Zoolander is one of my favorite comedies. It is endlessly rewatchable. So, I mean... I still haven't watched Dumb and Dumber 2. I have it sitting right here. I'm looking at it, a copy of it, and I want to watch it. but it's like something is like preventing me in my subconscious from like ruining the first one by watching the second one, you know? Even though I know in my mind that the first one still exists and it's on its own thing, and watching the second one wouldn't change the first one in any way. But it does worry me.
It's just cool seeing them back in action. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I mean, we've got an Anchorman 2, Dumb and Dumber 2, and now a Zoolander 2, well, a soon-to-be Zoolander 2. There's a lot of these movies that you just would never expect there to be a sequel to. You know?
And I don't think we'll get an Anchorman 3, and we might get a Dumb and Dumber 3, but yeah. So far, this sequels after a successful, first movie.
Yeah.
Haven't been.
I think it's different for comedies than it is for other movies as well.
It's a lot harder.
Obviously, it's a lot harder for comedies, especially after a long period of time.
Yeah.
You're trying to recapture that magic that was kind of an accident.
They'd be like trying to do another Austin Powers movie now. I don't think you could do it. Those movies.
Those are the parodies.
I feel like Austin Powers is almost one of those ones that could, because it passed that line.
So could you do an Austin Powers movie that like makes fun of how serious and gritty James Bond became?
You probably could, with the right people behind it. Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny. I'd watch that.
Create the whole Austin Powers cinematic universe.
There is one. It's Austin Powers 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. All right. Relax, guys. All right. Star Wars. I know we always talk. What do you mean,
no? Star Wars is the best thing
ever. Nope. All right. Daniel doesn't want to talk about Star Wars. Just moving on. Anyway, so it's the standalone film.
Ford.
Yeah. Well, Harrison. Yeah. Holy crap! He crashed his plane. He broke his leg on set and now crashed his plane.
I laughed so hard when I saw the picture of the plane.
It's like one of those.
How do you get into that thing? A lawnmower with wings.
Oh my god! The best part is that it's like an open air cockpit, so he was wearing one of those like old timey goggles that.
He's wearing one of those leather helmets with the goggles.
Yeah.
He's got a scarf that's kind of flowing in the wind behind.
Did he tell anybody he's doing this?
Oh, I love it though. It's so that.
Yeah, like if he landed and everything was good, like what would have happened? Like would he
Apparently,
feel
that's like the third time he's crashed a plane like that.
They're really old. That's like a world.
He landed in a golf course.
Well, it crashed in a golf course. He didn't really land it very well.
Well, I don't even. Did he say he like aimed for an open field?
No, what so happened was he was on his way back to the airport. His engine failed, I guess, and he wasn't good. He didn't make it, so he had to put it down somewhere. He was over a city, right? So your best bet is a golf course. Yeah.
Yeah. And then insurers are saying they're not going to let him do this while he's filming movies. Like, why didn't they just figure this out already? Like,
don't let him do it because he's almost 80 years old.
Famous people, not just actors, like people of all time. Why would you let, there should be, he should sign some shit. Like,
because maybe he's his own fucking person and he wants to fly a plane if he wants to.
But insurance is a huge thing in life. You're not.
It is.
Like Tom Cruise, I think he's not allowed to drive motorcycles and shit while he's filming movies. Like that's just like a normal thing that actors need to go through.
That's a weird sort of sect of insurance.
It is. Like you don't realize. Yeah. Because they're picking up this actor, they signed on to his thing.
But also, he's what, like 75?
Yeah, that alone too.
Like, it's enough, just relax.
Yeah, it's like, Jesus, I don't want 75-year-old people driving cars. Never mind flying planes.
And think about the story if he died.
Yeah. Oh God,
How devastating would that be?
I know. I thought about that actually when I saw it on the news. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, when I saw the crash, I'm like, and I saw the story when they kept saying critical condition. I'm like, holy fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, like what? I'm like, here, like Han Solo, Indiana Jones, he could. Ah, man, like.
Yeah. It wasn't even like, oh, they haven't finished filming Star Wars. Like that didn't even cross my mind. Just like his legacy and him and what happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, the selfish part of me was like, what? Yeah, like you have to finish Star Wars first. That's the selfish part of me. But yeah, I mean the non-selfish part of me is like, yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Star Wars. Standalone. So we know there's gonna be standalone films every year in between the main Star Wars movies. Yes. For as far as we know, ad infinitum, forever and ever and ever until we pass away, and then even then more Star Wars movies, right? By then you'll actually be able to live in a digital version of the Star Wars cinematic universe.
Yeah, you will.
I hope so anyway, right? Maybe by then my consciousness can be transferred into like a
20 years.
20 years? That's it?
Yeah. That's it.
I don't know.
Hold it right now. What day is it?
Yeah, Dan, you know what? I don't think yours is probably not going to be one of the first ones that gets transferred.
Good. The world.
Was that what's that movie with Johnny Depp? Convergence or yeah,
No, it's Convergence.
yeah. So is that what 20 years till Convergence, until we can become one with machines?
That's my bet.
I think it's more like 40.
Do you think Judgment Day happens first?
People the year 2000 to now, like
Exactly.
no,
Fuck you. Think
it
about
hasn't
that.
Fuck you. Think about that. What does it even mean? That doesn't even mean anything.
Oh, you think about 1990 to 2000. Jesus Christ.
That's
No.
the big one.
No.
But it has slowed down a bit. It has slowed down a bit.
That's the period when there was no internet to all the internet.
No, there's not. No, it's gonna be internet for a long time now. It's not gonna be.
No, that's not how technology works.
It doubles. It's like whatever. But guess what? It's not 20 years. Guaranteed, it's not 20 years.
Wow.
I think I listened to a podcast with a guy who does things like that, like predicts things.
Yeah.
And he says like it gets faster and faster, but he said 40 years or something like that. He didn't say 20.
Watch Transcendental Man.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the guy who I listened to on a podcast.
Yeah, well, that documentary came out
What
like
did you say,
10 years.
Transcendental?
Transcendental Man.
I thought you were talking about.
He's transcending.
I thought you were talking about.
Transcendent.
Transcendental.
I don't think it's dental.
Are you sure that movie is not about a traveling dentist? Are
Surgeon?
you sure that movie is not about a traveling dentist?
I'm fairly sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but it is.
Transcendent.
And the movie was made like almost, I think it was like 7 years ago or something like that. And he was like within 20 years back then.
So
Yeah.
it was 15 years.
I think a lot of
What's his
their,
fucking name?
the Johnny Depp movie is called Transcendence, by the way.
Yeah, we said that already.
No, he said Convergence.
Convergence.
Oh, right. But there's got to be a movie called Convergence, right? That has to exist. I'm going to look that up. Convergence must exist as a film.
What's his name? I feel like it's a Robert.
No.
It's a Robert. Anyway, so can I finally say what I was trying to say?
Oh, yeah.
And it's transcendent, man, not transcendental.
Fuck! I hate when I'm wrong.
I knew you were wrong.
It's like the third
Because I told you, transdental sounds like a traveling dentist.
Transcendent.
Transcendental.
Transcendental.
It's transcendent, man.
Transcendent.
Okay, we gotta move on.
Anyway, yeah, it's falling off the. We're falling off the D train here. The D train's falling off the tracks.
Shit.
Anyway, so can I finally the Star Wars standalone films? The next one is being directed by Gareth Hedlund. It is going to be. Oh no, sorry, not Gareth Hedlund. That's yeah. Garrett Hedlund is something else. That's a different story.
That's
coming
like
up next.
the star of like
Tron. Four bros.
Tron.
Yes, he's the director of Tron. Yes, that's coming up. That's the
Star,
next.
not director. Star, not director.
No, it's not the
We are really off track
The
here.
star of Tron.
yeah. Garrett Hedlund is the star
brothers.
of Tron Legacy.
I'm brother, sure.
And Troy.
Yeah.
Troy, what?
He's not Troy. He's the little brother or something.
He's Patroclus.
Anyway,
nobody remembers that name. You have to say he's the little brother.
He's Achilles' cousin.
if you-
He's a cousin of
Okay,
Achilles.
yeah, but you to explain to a normal person, you would say he's like the little brother to Brad Pitt, is what you would say. You wouldn't say Patrick Lees.
he was Patroclus. Anyway, so Star Wars standalone film. It's going to be directed by Gareth Edwards, not Garrett Hedlund. That'd be a lot different role for him. And it's going to be called Rogue One. So that's a cool name. I don't know what it's going to be about. I can make guesses. I think our job here is to make guesses. What do you think it's going to be about?
X-Wings.
Yeah, it's like the Rogue Squadron.
It's about how they built the X-wing.
It's gonna be like what's Top Gun, but X-Wings.
Yeah.
If that's what it is, sold.
Yeah,
I'll buy
sure.
it to you right now. It's like Top Gun, but with can there be a shot of a guy riding a speeder bike next to like X-wings on like a tarmac?
Sure.
Wouldn't make any sense.
With two setting suns, and then he does a wheelie.
You can't do a wheelie on a thing that has no wheels.
A speeder bike. Well, whatever the whatever the version of a wheelie would be with a speeder bike.
Just float on a different angle.
I guess. Whatever. The technology of speeder bikes makes no sense to me anyway. Can they fly, or do they have to stay a certain distance from the ground?
Yeah, they're like hover bikes.
Can you if you like jump off of a cliff, right? Does it float back down to the ground?
No. You would hurt yourself if you jumped off a cliff.
Are you sure about that? Because I was watching.
I am sure.
No, I don't think so.
All right, moving on.
I'm almost positive. No, I know for a fact. No, it's Star Wars canon.
Why? Because it happened in Star Wars Rebels?
No, because no. Well, to be fair, that is canon, but no, it happens in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Dooku jumps on a speeder bike, then takes off outside, out of a hangar that's like in a cliff face, and he drives right out of it, and it floats down to the ground.
It doesn't float down to the ground. It drops down to the ground and is jarring just like a normal motorcycle would be.
No, he doesn't get injured. He comes out and it goes.
He uses the Force.
Okay, well then that comes back to the whole thing of why can't Jedis fly, whatever. Anyway, it's Rogue One.
Longer.
Rogue One is a cool name for a movie.
It is. It is.
Liam Neeson. We all know Liam Neeson. Speaking of Jedi. He says that he'll be done with action movies within 2 years.
As in done with Taken?
Yeah, no, just action movies. He has another action movie coming out this week.
Yeah, but it's essentially the same as Taken.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Not all the movies are exactly like Taken. But most of them are. Yeah. He has a particular set of skills, Dan.
Evidently. I don't know. He's a cool actor without that. Like, I don't think he needs to really dumb himself down. He's cool without the action set pieces.
He's done a lot of cool stuff, man. He's Liam. He's what's his name from Batman? Batman's greatest foe, Ra's al Ghul. He's a Jedi master. Yeah, who is the first to master the ability to Force Ghost, apparently. And he's done other stuff too, but like just the fact that he was those two things alone is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
he was Schindler, you know.
Oscar Schindler.
Yeah, exactly. So, which actually is my point here, is that, he might be done with action movies within 2 years, but that might mean that we're going to get more Oscar-worthy performances.
Honestly, that's like good news, you know?
Yeah, like dramas. Great. Let's go. I want to see Liam Neeson in more dramas, like now. Never mind 2 years from now. Especially
because with those action movies, like all these action movies that he's been doing, the coolest part is when he's talking, not when he's fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's cool when he's on the phone with somebody saying, I have a particular set of skills and I'm going to find you and all that bullshit. Yeah. But like that's a drama role. You could have anybody do the action set pieces. It doesn't matter.
But he is pretty cool when he does it. It's like there's a certain style for his actions. It's very Jason Bourne.
And part of that is because it's unexpected, right? Like he doesn't look like he's a badass.
It's that voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were talking about Tron there for a second by accident because I said Gareth Hedlund, which is not even a person. But Gareth Hedlund... No, Gareth Hedlund isn't.
Yeah.
Gareth Hedlund is, though. He was the star of Tron Legacy. One of my favorite movies, by the way. I like that movie a lot.
That's dumb.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's dumb?
That's fucking dumb.
My opinion is dumb. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. No, I thought it was based just on the visuals and the soundtrack of Tron Legacy is one of the coolest looking movies. If you want to show off your HD TV... You bought a brand new 60-inch HD TV, right? What movie do you put on there? Tron Legacy, I think. Because if you have maybe a new sound system, the music is so good. That has some of the one of the best scores of any movie ever. It has some of the coolest visuals of any movie ever. It just needed some story work, you know. And some of the acting was a little stilted, but that's fine.
Well, that's fine.
That's fine. I like Tron a lot. I like Tron Legacy a lot. The original one is harder to watch. It doesn't hold up as well. But Tron 3 is going to happen, according to Badass Digest. It's going to be directed by Tron Legacy director Joseph Kosinski.
Wasn't there a Tron cartoon?
There was Tron Uprising. Very good.
But canceled?
Yeah, before its time, on a cliffhanger, no less. I watched the whole series, and then the final episode when things are gonna get the next season's gonna really ramp up, the evil version of essentially the bad guy from the movie Tron Legacy. It was Clue. right?
You're the only one that knows.
Whatever, Danny. You just threw out the name for
Yeah, he's got a point there.
Patrocles.
Whatever. You just exactly. We forgot it 3 minutes later. Now, you remember the name of you remember the name of Patrocles from a movie that came out like 10 years ago.
It's also from a book. That's a
whatever.
Never mind.
Anyway,
Classic.
Tron 3's happening. Garrett Hedlund is apparently the only actor set to return. Does that mean Olivia Wilde's not going to come back? Because that would be a shame. Or maybe
She's not coming back. She's like the Tron of the new movie, right?
Well, yeah, not really.
Yeah, she's like the robot person of like the movie. Like,
What's so weird? So the spoilers for Tron Legacy, but at the end of the film, so they're in a computer, right? That's the whole idea. Is the grid? The grid is inside a computer, and then the people in there are actually programs. Okay, crazy. So Olivia Wilde's character is a program, and when Garrett Hedlund's character finally leaves the grid at the end, she comes with him and is somehow a human being outside of the computer, which made no sense to me. By the way, I couldn't understand that, and maybe they just kind of maybe they'll just kind of write it off as saying, "Hey, by the way, when the program came out of the computer, it didn't work out very well. She started to fall apart or something," you know.
well,
so,
if a human being can be put into the computer in the program, why can't a the other way?
Mind blown.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, anyway,
create a human being out of a computer program.
And I didn't mean she was she was Tron. Like Tron is in the movie again.
Yeah.
But she was the relationship that what's his name had with Tron. Jeff Bridges had with Tron in the first movie, kind of, right?
Yeah. Are we supposed to create a perfect system? Yeah. I love that scene. It's so good. When he's talking to himself, essentially. And anyway, so remember, this is 2 years ago at the Central Canadian Comic Con in Winnipeg. I talked to Bruce Boxleiter, the original Tron.
One of the highlights of your life.
So what?
One of the highlights of your life.
No. But
no.
He was a cool guy though.
Like, Julian, what else is there?
I mean, like, come on.
Anyway, I talked to him, and I mentioned talking to him about like how I really like Tron Legacy, and how he was really great in Tron Uprising, that animated show. And I was like, so is Tron 3 going to happen? So we had the scup on this 2 years ago. Yes, we did. I said, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's going to happen. He told me it's going to happen.
Tower of Babble exclusive.
People who don't know, the guy you're talking about, he is Tron. Like that.
Yeah. From the original film, Bruce Boxleiter is Tron.
Yeah. And his actor, he was in the Legacy as well.
Yeah, exactly. Which is weird. If he doesn't return, that's, I think, odd.
Who did he play in the sequel?
He played the same guy.
But the human version, right?
Yeah, no. So what happened is the character Tron is like a copy of Bruce Boxleiter. Like Clue is a copy of Jeff Bridges.
Right.
So he's like he works for the company that ended up creating like that. You know, I remember the beginning of Legacy where he's in that like office building or whatever, right? And he hacks the computer. That company he's supposed to be the owner of, but he's never around. He's kind of like the Bruce Wayne of that company. Anyway, he's supposed to work for that company. So if Bruce Boxleiter doesn't come back, I think that may be a little weird, but they can figure it out. All right, I think we can wrap up movies. Unless you guys have anything else, any other movie stuff you guys want to talk about?
No.
All right, cool. Then moving on to television. Where they are actually casting for a Superman in the Supergirl show. And so we kind of were talking about this for a while, but wouldn't they?
You kind of have to, but yeah.
Yeah. So they're looking for, they didn't like explicitly say it, but it's pretty obvious that that's who they're casting for. And we also got a first look at the costume. Did you guys all get a chance to take a peek at that?
Yeah, it's very... I don't really have an issue with it, but it is like muted colors, sort of.
Yeah, the exact same color palette as the new Superman costume from Man of Steel.
Makes sense. The costume was always goofy, and it's still goofy, but
No, I get it. She's wearing pants, so there's that, right? Feminism and equality.
It's like a superwoman, not a supergirl.
Yeah, or something. Is there no such thing as Superwoman?
There is.
Is there?
Yeah.
Who is she?
She's Superman's mother.
That's no.
Yeah.
No one's ever called her Superwoman.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Let's look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now. Fucking.
What's something Zor-El? Whatever her first name is. Anyway, point is, I think it's a good thing. We'll see Superman in the Supergirl show. It does make me think, though, right? If this casting isn't done properly, it could really backfire, right? Casting for Superman is extremely important, right? Unless you only ever see like the back of his head or something, and it's just one little scene. But we've kind of talked about how Supergirl is like tangentially related to the CW superhero universe, cinematic universe.
Yeah. Well, is that even confirmed though?
So it's the same producer, right? Guggenheim, I think, Mark Guggenheim, and it's not on the same network, but it's owned by the same parent company, right? They're both
yeah, whatever.
So
it has the potential.
No one's gonna lose or benefit if characters pop up here and there.
They did say that they're probably going to keep Supergirl to themselves for a while, but that doesn't also mean that it won't eventually tie in and cross over. Which means, if that's the case, then what they're doing is casting Superman for that entire cinematic universe.
Or Justice League, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to do it right.
But they can't really, though.
What?
You can't mention Superman on the Arrow and Flash show.
Well, maybe not yet. But if this show if it becomes a success and it does eventually tie in together, then all of a sudden they're talking about Metropolis and Superman. Maybe it's just coincidence they have never mentioned Metropolis up until now.
Also, they casted Dean Cain in the Supergirl show.
Yeah, which he played Superman.
I used to watch Lois and Clark when I was a kid.
By the way, so I never watched that. What was the premise of that show?
It was just more so about their everyday lives, and their relationship, to be honest. But it was cool because when you're a kid, all you know is cartoons and stuff, right? That was my first foray into the live action, adults. I'm like, holy shit, that's actually Superman kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I've heard. I've heard it's not. It's not terrible, which is can be said about the Supergirl movie.
It might feel that way going back now, but I'm just trying to get you into the mindset I was when I was a kid. Yeah. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Well, I mean, there was a Supergirl movie.
Seeing Superman incarnated into a man, with the suit and everything.
Yeah. I mean, we already like Henry Cavill. I mean, I do.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a perfect choice.
But I mean, there's so many ways you can do this wrong. Like I said, the original Supergirl movie, which, by the way, one of the early cinematic universes, Daniel, because it was set in the same universe as the Christopher Reeves movies.
That chick has also been casted in the show.
Yeah.
Just cool.
Which it's kind of like what they're doing with the Flash, right? With the original Flash being in it, and
Mark Hamill as the trickster.
Mark Hamill, exactly. Anyway, I'm excited for the show. I'm a little bit worried about it. I mean, the costume. If we're talking about the costume itself, it looks like a cheap version of the Man of Steel costume. Is really what it looks like. It like the texture of it, if from afar it looks the same, but if you start looking at it, the textures of it, it's not quite textured the same way as the Man of Steel Superman suit. It kind of looks just more like just regular fabric. The S isn't quite as cool. But yeah, again, the colors are the same muted tone. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this continues, because it seems like this whole Supergirl show thing is moving pretty quick. So
the picture is with the actual actress too and everything.
Yeah. Yep. Have you not seen it, Jeremy?
No, I'm looking at it right now. It was kind of Photoshop, but
did they? Yeah, they might. Someone might, was there? Is it just a regular plain background? They might have photoshopped in new backgrounds or something. Or
yeah, so it's only muted.
Yeah. So speaking of that, CW, Justice League essentially, there is another Arrow Flash spinoff in the works that would include characters such as the Atom / Ray Palmer, Firestorm, so both members of Firestorm, and Captain Cold, and Black Canary. But not just any Black Canary, which is what makes this really weird. It's the Katie Cassidy version. Who spoilers for Arrow? Oh, I want to. You know what? I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
Dan,
can
you
you
haven't finished
please?
it.
I
won't
just got
spoil
to
it.
season 3. I'm fucking.
Okay, so all right. So you're actually, we can maybe talk about it again next. You'll probably have caught up by then. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But it's like that's like a big cast, and like why does Captain Cold in with all these like heroes? You know, although the guy playing Captain Cold and what they've done with him on the show is really really good. I have to say, it's one of the.
I think his acting's pretty shitty, but it's
Really, you think so?
Yeah.
I like it. I think he's got the right like attitude and the like. At least he's doing something.
It's
not
a
as,
little over, I think it's a little over the top, but okay.
the first time it was, but I think he's come down a little bit in the last couple times we've seen him. We've seen him what now 3 times on this show. It's a little bit less, like you said, over the top. I like it, but everyone has their different opinions. On this.
Fire guy though, he's awesome.
Firestorm?
Really? No, you think the fire guy? You think
not Firestorm? The opposite.
Torch guy? Yeah, like Heatwave. That's his name.
I haven't been watching.
Heatwave,
the
yeah.
one.
No,
Yeah.
like
He's
he
not
goes
awesome.
up, but the guy, like, he's doing a really good job, I think.
You think Heatwave is better than Captain Cold acting wise?
Acting wise, yeah.
I think you're crazy.
He's doing way more. What do you mean? Captain Cold is cool, calm, collective, like his power, and
Emphasis on
Heatwave
cool.
is just he just freaks out. He's loud, like he's and the guy who's doing it, I've seen him in other stuff.
Fuse.
Yeah, I've seen him in other stuff, and here he's I don't know. I think he's just doing a really good job.
Oh well, I literally have the exact opposite opinion, but that's fine. Would you guys what? That's just an interesting idea. Like according to the rumor, there would also be another 3 quote unquote major DC characters who have never appeared on a TV series before would be involved in this show. My opinion is my question is what do they consider a major DC character?
Yes.
Because I mean, is Captain Cold considered? Yes, Captain Cold would be considered a major DC character, but Heatwave isn't.
No, but
So-
the Atom and Firestorm both are. So like,
Yeah.
they have some big names on there.
I mean, there's a lot of characters you can pick like choose from. Like, I mean, Wildcat's already technically in
Yep.
Arrow, so it's like you got like it just gets bigger all the time, even if it's not like obvious. Like with the Atom with his suit, right? He's building that. I'd say more shows that's in that cinematic universe, the better, because it's like the thing with when you do these universes, or whatever this I guess television universe, CW.
Yeah.
Whatever you would call it. I don't know. It's got to have a name. The CW universe, DC Comics universe, is it forces you to be invested in this greater overarching story, right? Where you can't. It feels like you're missing a piece if you're only watching one of the shows, right? If you're only watching Arrow and you weren't watching The Flash, you might feel like you were missing something
Yes.
going on somewhere else, right? So it kind of it makes it more. It's kind of a cheat, actually.
Yes.
But I fall.
So the show should stand on its own. You
It
should
does, and
watch
they
the
do.
show and not feel that way.
They do, by the way. I think they do a very good job of that.
I mean,
but-
I've been watching. I haven't caught up with Flash, but I have been in the middle of season 3 of Arrow, and there have been little things, like minor things.
yeah,
that,
but it should be little things.
when did that happen? Oh, I have to go watch this random episode of Flash, or else.
That's exactly what happens in the comic book world of comics.
Sure.
And that was going on with Arrow with
That's also TV shows work, right?
with
Like,
Buffy and Angel. That was going on in the 90s. It's not like this isn't new, is what I'm saying. But I think it works
is
for
really
me.
new.
I
Buffy
find it
weren't
interesting.
like that.
Well, like
Not to the same degree.
I don't know. I mean, in what's it called? Star Trek. When Next Generation was going on, there was 3 shows that were set in the same universe, the same time period of that universe. Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager were all set in the same
Yes,
time
but
period.
they don't really kind of. They
No,
don't.
they all stand alone. But
There's one episode of Voyager where she talks to Picard, and I think Deep Space Nine has a couple episodes where they interact, but other than that, it's nothing. And it's always kind of a big deal when they do, and you don't feel like you're missing out on anything if
well,
you don't.
no, I get it, but it's like I said, it's nothing new. For me, I like it. I like being invested in the greater world. it makes you.
Yeah, and technically you are missing out. It's an advertising ploy. Like, go check this show too.
And I like it
It's
right
so
now.
cynical to
I feel
say
like
it
if
like
there's 6 different shows, it's going to get to be too much.
But you're not missing out to the point where it's gonna ruin the actual show you are just only watching.
I think they've done a good
I
job
feel
of
like
that.
if I hadn't watched any Flash and I had only watched Arrow, it would have ruined a little bit of it.
No, I don't think so. I think they've done a really good job of actually keeping it pretty
Yeah,
separate.
because he was in a coma and then he turns up as the Flash. If you haven't watched Flash, that kind of ruins it.
No, because
but
the
you're not
Flash.
watching Flash, you're
No,
watching
because the
Arrow.
Flash origin
Exactly.
happens on Arrow.
You're watching Arrow. You're not watching Flash.
So I'm saying.
What do you mean? That's what you're saying?
It
It ruins the show that you're watching.
No, it ruins Flash because
No,
it's
you're
just
not watching
random.
Flash.
You're missing pieces of information.
You're not watching Flash though.
I know. It doesn't make any sense without Flash.
No,
you
No,
have
But
to
you
watch
need
that
to watch
random.
Flash because the show you chose and you're watching is Arrow. So you're not missing.
I'm
you're
saying
not
I
missing
have
anything.
seen both, but had I not seen Flash, there would be pieces of information that are missing. That
Yeah, but
wouldn't
if
make
you're only
sense.
watching one, it doesn't ruin the show that you're actually watching. It's ruining a show that you haven't watched at all.
Sure, it doesn't
So
necessarily.
matter.
It's you have to watch the show you're watching and be like, oh well, I'll just give them that.
It's just a commercial coming in, and that's
but
it.
that's
That's
not
all
what
it
people
is.
want.
I don't know. I think that's too cynical of a look to say that it's just a commercial. I think if you could just say, yeah, every TV show is just every superhero show is just a ploy to sell more comic books.
That's what the Flash and Arrow have done in the beginning. That's exactly what they're doing. That's what it is.
And it's
But I think
They advertised each other on whatever episode, then they did a joint episode. That's what it was.
okay, but when it gets to the point that the Atom and Firestorm and Black Canary and everybody has their own TV show,
Yeah, now you're talking about 5 characters. Yeah, sure.
it's too much, and then you have to keep tracking how do you watch what
Yeah,
order.
but so those aren't all getting their own show. That's one show with all those characters.
Yes, yeah.
But if you're watching the Arrow and then Flash goes up, like, okay, cool. That's not going to ruin the Arrow, but
It's not gonna-
then you're going to go watch the Flash and you're going to find out.
and then you're gonna be
Nothing
like,
wrong
oh
with that.
yeah, but had you not watched any of the Flash, it would have ruined.
No, because he shows up and it's just an introduction to the character, and they give you everything. You need to
But he
know
shows
about
up both before and after the accident.
No, because you see his origin in Arrow.
No, you don't.
See him get struck,
by lightning.
You
don't
get struck
see
by
him
lightning,
Flash.
and then you find out later that
Yes.
when he got struck by lightning,
There's
made him into the
pieces of
Flash.
information that are missing. As far as the viewer is concerned, watching Arrow, he got struck by lightning. Something happened. You don't know what. He's in the hospital. He's not
Yeah,
dead.
and then you find out that's what happened.
And then you find out later
Flash.
he's the Flash.
Yes.
Now, if you go to watch the Flash show, part of that has been ruined for you.
No, that's not ruined because you already know that. Listen, if you're not if you're a non-comics fan, right, and you're just watching Arrow and you're not watching the Flash, you don't care.
Exactly, that's what I was trying to
That's
say.
not necessarily true. I know people that do care.
So
I know people that don't read comic books that do
If
care
you
about
do
that.
care, then you're going to go and watch the Flash.
exactly. So
I know people. I'm telling you, I know people that haven't done that. I know people that have watched Arrow that have had issue with that.
But they want people to have that issue so that they go and watch the Flash.
Exactly, it's a marketing ploy.
Well, I don't think
So,
it's- I
okay,
don't
so
know.
then you're telling me that I'm right, that there's a misstep there.
No, because
No.
you're not ruining the Arrow. That's the show you've chosen to watch.
You as a viewer, your choice is to go if you want to enrich your knowledge by watching the other show, if you want. But you don't have to because they usually and they've done it, like I said, a pretty good job of giving you enough information for when say the Flash does come over to make it standalone as it is. They do. There is definitely scenes where if you're watching both shows where they like retread the same information because they know people aren't watching both.
Yes.
And they need to be able to give those a little info dump to bring people up to speed. So
And that's
yes,
fine.
you're not getting everything, but if you're only choosing to watch the one, that's your choice.
Okay, but all right, that's fine. I've never disagreed with that, but whatever.
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's move on from that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, we're only a little ways away from there being like a whole like Justice League show on the CW, right?
Yeah, they're definitely teasing it. They've one of the episodes I recently watched, they said we're in a league of our own, and they actually emphasize the league, and they're really, really teasing it.
And I mean, I'm fine with that because they've done such a good job with the Flash. The Flash is arguably a stronger show at this point in its season than Arrow was. And I've said this before, than Arrow was at that same point in its series, right? Halfway through its first season, Arrow wasn't as strong as the Flash is now halfway through its first season. So if it keeps progressing and getting better like Arrow did, its ceiling is so much higher, right? And if they can do that with other characters, the way they did Firestorm was pretty cool. I'm not gonna like again. You're not watching Arrow or Flash.
I've seen the first 3 episodes. I
So
haven't.
they do Firestorm really well, I think, and they kind of do a backdoor pilot similar to what they did with the Flash on Arrow with that.
Cool.
But they treat these characters so well. There's no reason I don't think that they couldn't do it well. You know what I mean? And get away with it. And people being like, okay, I'm fine with there being a Justice League on TV and a Justice League in the movies that are different. You know.
But I'm okay with it. But that's us that we can make that.
Yeah, and we already talked about, like, you think that I think general audiences are smart enough to figure out now that they're different, that they're separate, that there's a movie universe and there's a TV side. But problem becomes then with Marvel where that's not the case, where they're training people to believe that it's all together and it's all one thing. So if you have on the other side DC doing the opposite, where it's two separate things, then that's where things start getting confusing.
And that's great marketing on Marvel's side too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Confusing the audience on.
Well, that's one of those things, Dan. Like, are you feel like if you're only watching the movies, are you missing out because you're not watching the short films that are in between that are set?
Well, no, because those don't really affect anything, right? Those are just add-ons. They're just
what about
stories?
Or like, what about S.H.I.E.L.D.? You're not watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? There's going to be things from that. They introduce Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
By not watching that,
I watched to the point when they dealt with the Thor thing, and then I stopped.
Yeah, Jamie Alexander shows up a bunch too.
Yeah, she just showed up again in the last episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. By the way, S.H.I.E.L.D. gets so much better. Just you stick it out until the events of Cap 2 happen.
It's too much. Like, this is the thing. There's already too much. Why are we having
I don't know, because this is how they do it. They get you to invest because what happens in Cap 2 affects what happens in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's huge. So it's like, you want to see what happens to these characters when the events of this other thing that you love happened, right? Like, that's the whole point.
No, I get it, and it's enticing. I just don't have time for that shit.
That's fair. There is too much good stuff. There's too much good television. So moving on, new Community trailer. It premieres, 6 days? 5 days?
5 days from 6 days from today, 5 days from tomorrow. Sorry, late.
Yeah, so by the time this podcast is posted on our iTunes account, feed, whatever.
Are you excited for that?
It'll be 5 days.
I just saw the poster. It looks so sad to me because no one
That's the thing. They've lost almost everybody. There's only 4 of the original cast of the main set left.
I think the biggest one for me was when Donald Glover left. Yeah, when Troy was gone, it was like, oh man, he was such a heart of that show too. So funny, like probably the funniest character on the show.
Well, they gave him a lot, and he was a great actor. He worked with it a lot.
Yeah, I love that they brought on the new old guy. Essentially, is the voice of Goliath.
Keith David.
Yeah, so good. Love Keith David. Everything awesome. He does.
And they're calling Paget Brewster the new Shirley.
I love that.
The weird thing is, like, Shirley may come back if they, by some happenstance get another season. She's only gone because her father's in poor health.
Yeah, well, she has her kids too, right? She wants to spend,
Well, like, she has family stuff, and that's what she said. She's like, I'm not going to film because I want to focus on that stuff. But
so I think she always make a cameo, right? Like, she took a day and she could just film one scene or two.
It'll be interesting to see because with Pierce, they were like, he's dead. He's never coming back.
Yeah.
Versus when Troy left, they're like, oh, he's on a trip around the world in a boat.
No, he
would come back.
He's not on just any trip around the world on a boat. He's on a trip around the world on a boat with the referee, with LeVar Burton. That's the best part of that, by the way.
So I want to see how they address Shirley's absence as well.
Yeah, I mean,
because she could come back easily.
What's great about Community is that they've had so many cast changes now that they just know how to do it. But the nature of it being a community college is that people come and go, right? So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it works.
In terms of like the loose, rules of that community world. I mean, as loose as those rules are, if all of season 3 is or season 4, is it season 3, 4? Which one is a gas leak? Is it season 4? Yeah. If all of season 4 is a gas leak, then anything's possible. Anyway, I'm just excited. It's so funny. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar. We all like her, right? Buffy.
She's alright.
I like her a lot.
No, she's really good.
You know that she's married to Freddie Prinze Jr.? Not Freddie Prinze Jr., that's different. Freddie Prinze Jr. He's the guy. He does a lot of voice acting. Anyway,
What?
yeah, look him up.
I think it's the same person.
It's got to be the same person.
Prinze,
There's no way.
P-R-I-N-Z.
Whatever.
Julie,
Can you keep going? But there's no fucking
person.
way.
No, what? No.
It's the same person.
I'm pretty sure there's two Freddie Prinze. There's a okay, whatever. Anyway, you're dumb. You say he's dead?
Freddie Prinze Sr.
His dad is like a famous musician in the 70s.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, so she is going to be joining the cast of Star Wars Rebels next season, which happens to have Freddie Prinze Jr. as the lead voice actor, male voice actor on that show already. So kind of makes sense. I'm excited. Let's add Buffy to the Star Wars universe. I'm down with that. Done. I don't know they haven't said who she's gonna be playing or what role she's gonna be in, but what if she was just a droid? A pleasure droid.
Nice.
Anyway, let's move on to the more interesting part. The new Game of Thrones trailer.
Wow.
Right? Oh my god. I mean, it's hard to talk about a trailer for a series like that because if you try to dissect it, you're kind of like spoiling yourself. And it's one of those weird shows where those weird things in pop culture where people get really obsessive about spoilers.
Yes.
Understandably so. But so a trailer, with the idea of a trailer for Game of Thrones is really weird to me because it kind of comes back to what we were talking about with trailers before, is I don't even want to see those moments at all because I don't want them spoiled, which is like opposite what I said earlier, but it's because Game of Thrones is like its own special thing, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's sort of weird for me because there's a lot in that trailer that I recognize.
Yeah.
So it functioned as a teaser because there were certain things like, oh shit, that's this,
this thing that I know from the books.
This thing that I'm looking forward to. I didn't realize they were going to do it this way or whatever. Like I can see, and it's just little snippets. They didn't spoil anything. They didn't reveal anything. They're just little pieces that are like, oh shit.
Yeah, and of course, man, that dragon is huge, right?
Bigger. But the only thing I would like to mention is, judging by the trailer, the books or the shows are going to overpass the books right away.
Yeah,
like that. A lot of that stuff is the end of book 5.
They talked a lot of the cast has talked about leaving the books behind. In interviews this season.
I'm going to stop watching the show then. Right?
No, we've had this conversation on our Game of Thrones podcast, the Tower of Babble Game of Thrones breakdowns. Join us in a month and a bit, and you can listen to us do.
We're gonna miss the first little bit, but we'll catch up.
Yeah, well, we can figure it out. Is it Cuba? Right?
Yeah, we'll be in Cuba. Yeah.
Well, they have internet there, right?
Do they?
Well, they must. This is Daniel. This is 2015. Okay.
It's also Cuba.
And in 20 years we'll have Transcendence.
Yeah, but Cuba doesn't have fucking internet. No, either way, there's ways we can make it work.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, because I think it's important that we.
I would like to keep it prompt, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll do our best. Let's not make any promises we can't keep. Let's put it that way. But I'll make this promise: we will be doing Game of Thrones podcasts for this next season. Anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about now. Oh crap! This whole tangent, and I completely
forgot. Stuff that the shows are gonna.
Oh right, yeah. So we talked about how on the show about that, and the fact is like that you feel cheated that the show is gonna overlap.
It's not that I feel cheated. I understand the practicality of it. I want the book experience to be separate. I like enjoying both, but I don't want if the shows overtake the books, then I'm going to be reading the books, and it's going to be a little bit diminished. But
isn't that kind of the same idea as if you've read the books? Isn't the show then slightly diminished?
Yes, and it's weird because I watched the show before I read the books, right? Like the first season I watched before, and then I just read through the books a couple times, and I became upset.
Yes, I watched the first season, and then I read those giant books 4 or 5 times.
I've read them 3 times, but I don't know. It's hard to explain, but same with Lord of the Rings. Like the book experience is different. It's more personal.
It seems so hypocritical to me. It just
you say that, but you would react the same way with something.
And you have. Yes, but that's the point. It's one of those things where the smug book reader thing where the books are always better, the blah blah blah, and they're saying the people who have read the books always like criticize or blah blah or something about
and think about it though. I'm not a person that says the books are always better. The books are always different, and the books always have more. That's unavoidable. The books are always going to have more information, and they're going to be a more visceral experience because you're putting yourself in there. It's in your own head.
Okay, great. So when you watch the show and it shows you something that you haven't seen from the books yet, right?
And I've loved
when you go read the books, it will just enrich what you've already seen. Not take away from what you've already seen. Yes,
and that's stuff that's not in the stuff that is in the books. I'm gonna see it on a TV show, and it'll be done their way because they are two different mediums.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go read the book, and it'll be done differently, and it won't have the same effect.
Yeah, but it's so weird because, like you said, you watched the first season first, so you already have those characters in your mind as the characters.
Maybe it's my own personal preference. I prefer reading the book. I prefer having the world in my head than being shown it. I like to imagine it. I like to be like the Red Wedding. I read that in the books, and I think they did a great job in the show. But I could not imagine having watched the show and then reading that chapter. I would not have been able to get through that chapter. Because look, it takes you like 10, 15 minutes to get through a chapter, depending on the length. Yeah. That whole time, I would have known what's going to happen. It's different than a TV show because everything's a bit quicker. Everything's, they're hinting at stuff.
That's just like a little nitpicky argument.
That's not nitpicky.
It is. It's different.
The experience.
No, it's different because it takes less time. That's the difference.
No, you're not listening. Like that's it's because I can't read that chapter. If it takes that long,
no, it's your choice to not read that chapter.
No, Julian, I'm saying if I'm reading that chapter, the way it is written, had I already watched the show, I would know what was happening the entire time. The chapter would be ruined.
Okay, so you've already seen that but so if when you watch the show, that episode of the show is ruined then as well. It's just reversed because you've already read the book. What's the difference? What's the difference? The only difference is your preference is you prefer to read it first. That's the only difference.
I guess.
And which is why I say why I said it kind of sounds a little hypocritical. That's all.
I don't think so, but
we'll agree to disagree.
The big payoff at the end of the twist is ruined if you watched it in another medium. That's how it works.
Yeah,
I watched the whole wedding. not knowing that was going to happen.
Exactly, and it was great on screen.
But if I the other way, I would have known reading the book.
And this is also sort of the nature of TV shows and movies. Is I'm watching it and I'm looking forward to something versus reading the book. You're not reading it like, oh shit, I'm looking forward to this. You're reading it because
couldn't you? People reread books for that exact reason.
That's not the way books are designed.
But that's why reread a book then at all if you already know what's going to happen?
I'm not rereading the book for those pieces. I'm rereading the book for other pieces that I don't remember.
All right. Well,
I'm just like, oh shit, I want to know what he's thinking in this exact moment when he knows he's about to die. Like you get. I
promise you, neither of you could read the books and have the same experience. Not even the same experience. You couldn't read the books and get through that chapter because
you can't anymore because you saw the show.
That's what I'm saying. And whereas I can read the books and still watch the show and appreciate both.
You still know what's coming there.
I know what's coming, but it's not ruined.
No, because if I read the show, if I read the book, I'm like, hey, I want to know what he's thinking during this. I want to know what she's thinking. That's what
I was saying. It enriches your knowledge. It doesn't take away from.
All I see is him turn around with a stone face because he's been stabbed or whatever. And
you don't get
and we don't know what he's thinking about.
Guess what? He's never a POV character. You don't know what he's thinking about.
I know. I'm just saying but it doesn't matter. We get to more info, more context if you read the book, and that's why I'd want to read that to see what everyone's going through the scene.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to video games. So we're done with television. We're gonna move on to video games. Not much here, and there's actually a few little things that we'll have to talk about, and we can wrap up right away. Batman, Arkham Knight, rated M for mature, and there's a new trailer, so that too. The new trailer is really cool.
Awesome.
And it kind of gives a hint to why it might be rated M. Just to give context, the last two Batman games, last three, I guess, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Origins, were all rated T for teen. So M technically cuts off more kids from playing the game, but really it's a Batman game. Parents are going to buy it for their kids anyway. It doesn't really matter, Do parents even look at the labels?
I think actually in this day and age, a lot of parents do. So that might hurt their sales.
Maybe, but I mean, again, it's still Batman. They'll be like,
yeah. Did we talk about this recently or no?
No, we have never talked about this.
The thing is, it's important to note is that they weren't looking for the M rating, right? Like they made the game,
no, we definitely
and then they
last
stuck
time.
with it.
Because I said that my mom bought me Resident Evil 4 or whatever, even though it said M on it. And that was back in the day.
Yeah, but I don't think we talked about this. This news only came out like last
No,
week.
last time we talked about it wasn't about Batman. It was someone else, and I said that back in the day, parents were less. They just weren't.
Yeah, I remember because I talked about how I got.
And now they're I mean more aware. Yeah.
Well, nowadays, it's like movies and stuff. If a movie's rated R, the parents are going to take their kids to go see it, right?
Right.
And same with games.
Well, more so now. I think still have like kids.
I know people that are maybe a year or two younger than me that weren't allowed to play M-rated games.
Yeah, I mean
that's not a huge
fair, but like how many stupid little kids are playing like Call of Duty and Battlefield, right? You know.
And either way, it's Batman. It's synonymous with being like a kid's thing, anyways.
Yeah,
they're not worried about sales. It's gonna do great.
It's kind of weird though. People are talking about this online. It's like they're like, well, wait a minute. How do the other games get away with only being rated teen? Like the themes in those games are not.
Well, it's not. It's just like scenes. Like even in like the Dark Knight. Like I'm pretty sure they're not rated R because when the Joker shoots somebody, they pull away from the person and they just show Joker and the bullet coming out. They don't show it entering the body or blood or whatever.
It's weird how these rating things work. If you can cut away at the right time, then it doesn't count. Or if it's a fast pan, so you don't really see any violence.
Like the fact that in the Dark Knight, the Joker stabs a pencil through a guy's eyeball.
Right.
The way it's shot is it allows it to be a PG-13 instead of a rated R.
And if it was in a comic book, you would see the pencil like in the guy's with his eyes like rolled up or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways,
the best takeaway from this is that they're not changing to hinder their view or whatever.
Yes.
It's they're like, hey, this is Rocksteady. This is probably their last Batman game or like solo Batman game.
Mm-hmm.
We could.
You've already made your prediction on that one.
Yeah. So they're saying, fuck it, like let's just go all in. Let's make what we want.
It's not even fuck it. It's we're doing our thing. It doesn't matter what they say. If that's the rating we get, great. We're going to be the game that we make.
I think that's easy to say that, but if they got an AO rating, they would have changed it. Because you can't sell it.
A which rating?
Game. An AO. It's the one.
Yeah, but I've never seen that rating ever on
it's
store.
You can't buy it because you can't sell them in stores.
Exactly. So they would never get that.
Exactly.
They're not going to put something in there to grant that.
You'd have to be like like explicit sex and
well, that's the thing. Unfortunately, with these things, the violence and whatever is fine. As soon as there's nudity or explicit sexuality, that's when you get a rating job.
Yeah. So according to what everyone's saying, it is violence. There's particularly violent scenes, more so than the last games that were the in particular scenes that earned them the M.
It's weird because the last games are fairly violent. There's a lot of arm breaking and stuff.
Apparently, there's torture in this one. I mean, there's torture in the last ones too. I mean, he literally hangs people off of roofs. I love how people go back and like go through the game and whatever. They'll call out people who would clearly die if you did something if you grabbed a guard and attached something to their foot and threw them off the edge of a building, they'd probably break their neck.
Yeah, but if the character is still in vision, you can see them.
Yeah,
you can see the heart monitor or whatever. It just says
I know, but they're like, listen, that he's dead. He's in the middle of a prison in the middle of winter, and
it's one of the virtues of being Batman, though. As long as you don't purposefully kill him, if he dies, it's not your problem.
I don't have to.
If he accidentally dies, oh well, circle of life. Right?
I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you. That rule.
Yeah.
Classic. The old Batman loophole. Anyway, so do you guys like the new trailer? With
it looks awesome.
Yeah, featuring the new character designs for the villains. It's really cool, and there's I can't remember where I heard this. I think it was IGN. How they talked about in the last three games, it was all based on the Unreal Engine. Yeah, that's what the game was made on, and it meant that all the characters were very blocky and chunky, right? Now
it's a true next gen game for sure.
Yeah, with this new engine.
The other thing that's important to note, and this is evident in the new Mortal Kombat game that's coming out, is the female characters are actually given not necessarily personality, like they're more in depth than just being a sexy girl.
Yeah.
Costume, right? Like the Poison Ivy isn't necessarily oversexed; she's just a character that wears.
Well, and that's also part of her character as well, though. Her
Well, it was, but in the other games, they were all very they were dressed scantilously. They were
Yeah.
dressed a certain way, like to it's like fan service to a certain extent. But nowadays, you don't have to do that. You can actually make
Yeah.
a character.
I mean, just look at that picture
That's
of
not
Supergirl, right? Like, just look at the picture of Supergirl. You could have easily done like the slutty Supergirl version, right?
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm
they-
saying.
yeah.
And then,
You have like you said, Poison Ivy, and then you have Harley Quinn, who's clearly looks like she's taken over for the Joker. Spoilers: Joker dies at the end of Arkham City, or so we're led to believe. I would be very surprised if he came back.
Is this the Scarecrow trailer you were kind of talking about?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool how it's like, or not cool, but like it's weird how it's like kind of like the origin storyline almost.
Yeah.
Really?
Like with getting all the villains together to kill Batman.
Yeah, but that turned out to be a red herring, though. Remember?
Yeah, I know, but that also could happen here too.
Yeah. It's actually, it's very likely with them. They like to do
because
those twists.
Scarecrow's at the front of it, but obviously it's the Arkham Knight who's behind all this stuff.
Well, yeah, I think
plus, in the trailer, it looks like there's some sort of weird robot behind him too when he comes in, and that's the Arkham Knight, quote unquote, with weird glowing.
But I like how they used the Scarecrow because it's kind of full circle because he was a big part of the first game.
and then he was missing in Arkham City,
Yeah.
and then now he's back, big, like bad as ever.
Yeah.
I really his character design is really cool.
It's
for the
very
Arkham
good.
games.
With his fingers being the
Like,
It's only
toxins.
becomes cooler, yeah.
Yeah.
And his levels are kind of cool because they could do, supernatural things.
Like that.
Yeah,
Arkham Asylum. The what they did with Arkham Asylum is easily the one that stands out the most, where he's walking through the hallway and then the hallway turns into Crime Alley. That's super cool. They did
it a couple times, and every time it you're
And you
drawn
can't really
into
get
the
that
game.
feeling when you're watching a movie. This one you're controlling Batman, and then your environment's changing. Then like the slow motion reminds you of the actual incident. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and then at some point you're literally playing as a young Bruce Wayne at one point.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They try to do it again in Arkham City with like the hallucinogenics. Didn't work. It didn't work as well. The Ra's al Ghul stuff. And not only that whole sequence wasn't.
Yeah, those ones felt very video gamey, eh?
Like where you're like you had like 1,000 Ra's al Ghuls attacking you, and you had to just mash the block button over and over and over.
No,
again.
and it was a lot of fly through this circle and then go up.
Yeah, it was weird.
Just stuck to like the platformy timing elements.
Yeah, which is I'm not gonna condemn them for trying like Daniel likes to do, but
Okay.
That was a good one. This thing.
Thanks, Jeremy. But it just didn't work out as well. We could all agree that City's a better game, but that segment just didn't work out that well. And was Scarecrow in Arkham Origins?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Did they do any of those like scenes like
It was
the
Mad Hatter. They did the
the Mad Hatter, right? That makes sense.
Right.
That also didn't work as well, but better than Arkham City.
Well, they did that in City and Origins, I believe.
With Mad Hatter,
Mm-hmm.
with the weird like bunny rabbit head.
Yeah, that level in City I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they tried to get to the next.
But it was a
level.
one-off, right? It was a side quest. It was you got one and then you're done.
But but the thing about Batman the series, these one-off side quests seem like an expansion pack on their own sometimes. You know what I mean?
no, it's a great way to make a game, but
Yeah. No, I agree.
The Mad Hatter in Origins though, that one sucked.
Yeah. I mean, Origins just wasn't as good of a game, unfortunately. It's not bad. We talk about this all the time. It's not
No, it
bad.
did what it needed to do. Like it got us right back into that mode of play the Batman game and just explore that whole.
I never played the Mr. Freeze expansion. I
mean,
and I don't have my PS3 here, so I can't even go back and play it. I keep meaning to do it too. It's like maybe we should just watch the video, like all the cutscenes or something on YouTube and get it over with. And what else? Oh, the prequel comic that for Arkham Knight. It's already available digitally, the first 3 issues, but it will be available in paper form that collects the first 3 digital issues. And it's written by Batman and Robin writer Peter J. Tomasi, and he's a really good writer. Batman and Robin's a great series right now. So if it's half as good as the what's it called, Injustice prequels, then it's probably just fine. Moving on. Oh, Kojima. So MGS 5, right? Metal Gear Solid 5. We got a release date coming out September 1st, 2015, which is good for fall games of 2015. and we'll get to that in a little bit later. But Kojima also said, this is what's more interesting to me than so much the release date, is that he said that MGS5 is the final game in the Metal Gear Solid Gear saga. Yeah. It's not the Metal Gear Solid saga, the Metal Gear saga, quote. So yeah, it's gone on for a long time. It started on the NES, right, with the first Metal Gear. So if MGS5 is finally wrapping that whole thing, it'll definitely be other Metal Gear games. But like if Kojima's done after that, that's gonna be pretty interesting. It's
huge, yeah.
Yeah. Are any of you guys that were big Metal Gear guys?
That's the one series
that's the
I haven't
one
really picked up.
That's the one. Not Final Fantasy.
That was like the first game I played on PS3, and it blew me away.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
Which
I
people
thought it was
think,
just the craziest thing ever, man. I didn't want.
yeah. I think it does. It doesn't. People go back and look at it and say it's not as good as people thought at the time, but at the time, and it was.
I think it's still fun though. Like if you're gonna pick it up, like there's a lot to do in the game.
Yeah, like the way that they merge third person and first person, right?
Yeah.
Is really really cool.
I don't know. It's tough.
People just have a gripe on it because it's not their classic Metal Gear Solid that they're used to with their a lot of stealth and whatnot.
Well, my problem with Metal Gear is it's so hard to get invested in that story because I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea.
Yeah. No, I didn't either. But like you get a sense of what's going on while you're playing it, and then like I just took it upon myself to do research, and it was like
so
it was
much
fun though to read. Like just
yeah.
There's always something new. You're never gonna know everything. Like
if you go to that
knows Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. Like I don't think a single person.
Yeah, like Jeremy,
knows every answer to the Metal Gear Solid, right? Like,
do you know? Remember that Metal Gear codec that you could get for the PS3?
I still have the app on my PS3.
Yeah, and I'm like, there is so much information in that thing. In that like, you could probably read that thing for months and not reach the end of it. It is just so much info, and it's so convoluted and confusing. It could maybe use a little streamlining. Maybe that's what they'll do. Reboot it.
If they reboot it, yeah. But I think it's just cool that it exists, and like if anyone ever adventures into that game, like there's, you know what I mean, like there's just so much to explore, and like it's never going to end really.
And there's so many games I want to play in that series. Like I definitely want to go back and play.
I want to play
Metal Gear Solid 3, right?
And, 2 as well, actually.
Did they redo 2 with like the free flow camera? They did. I know they did 3 like that.
Probably. Like there's a bunch of HD remasters available. So
I actually used to play. I was playing Metal Gear Solid 2 on my first girlfriend's PlayStation when I finished about half the game. It was a lot of fun, but I just like I've never played the first Metal Gear. I've always said I want to play that Twin Snakes game for the GameCube.
Right.
Or just have it released on any other system, so I can play it. Kind of like the GoldenEye Perfect Dark remaster.
Right.
But like I don't know, it's tough. I'd want to start at the beginning and go all the way through. Then I might be able to kind of figure it out a little bit better. But the way the series kind of jumps around through time, kind of doesn't even matter. You can just kind of should just. Pick
and there's a lot of videos online where people streamline it. They'll do commentary over cutscenes or just explain everything for you if you really want. And then you can just pick and choose which game you want to dabble into or whatever.
MGS5 looks like it's going to be pretty impressive. Like I don't think any of us played that little demo that they released last year.
Ground Zeroes was like basically a full-blown game. It's like you could buy it on disc and everything.
Yeah, but it was really just a glorified demo. It's really what it was.
Yeah, probably.
But people say it's pretty amazing, so I'll probably play it. I mean, it looks amazing. So,
yeah, graphics are unreal too.
Let's see what else we have. The developer of Dead Space, Joe, this might hit close to home for you. One of your favorite series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dead Space, yeah. Visceral Games, who are busy releasing Battlefield Hardline, have said and did say would like to revisit the Dead Space series. I think you could do a pretty cool Dead Space on next-gen hardware if you got back to the roots of survival horror that the first game did. Right?
I don't know. They're beautiful games. I don't see why not.
Yeah, but I think to me
it's also like the story's not done.
I guess. I mean, make
it into a huge franchise. 3 only came out like 2 years ago.
Like that.
Like they still got things in the works probably. So
the thing is, Visceral is also working on a unnamed Star Wars game.
Yeah,
right?
that's obviously going to take precedence.
Because isn't that where Amy Hennig went?
Yeah.
Did she go work
She's
at
doing a Star
Visceral?
Wars game. She's doing a bounty hunter game or something.
Yeah.
Jedi Knights.
But Dead Space was huge for a bit. Like when all those games were coming out, there was spin-off games.
Yeah.
There were Blu-ray releases of animated stories within the universe. So I think it's still like a well-known world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it seems like they kind of like all that stuff happened so fast and it kind of burnt out like really quite fast. Really bright flame, but didn't last very long.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool. It kind of represents the survival horror as a whole, like the entire like video game industry.
I know. I was just gonna say.
Yeah, because the first one was your epitome of survival horror.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the next Resident Evil 4, right? The same.
Exactly, absolutely. And then 2 tried to be a lot more like Resident Evil 4, but ended up being kind of like Resident Evil 5.
It's more action.
Yeah, but it had a bit of both. So I actually do like Dead Space 2 a lot. And then 3 was 5 and 6 Resident
put together. It's like watching the Resident Evil series go through the same problems. It's like they didn't even. It's like they knew Resident Evil was what was going on over there, and chose not to pay attention to it. But just let the same mistakes happen.
And because the brand and the franchise was blowing up so quickly in all these movies, and they just fell into that trap. So that'd be a cool article to write too of how Dead Space represents survival horror as a whole too.
Yeah, I don't think that's an article for me. I don't think that's
no, I know. Maybe I'd tackle that one day or whatever. But the same. It's just kind of I thought about that on the spot. Well, we were talking about Dead Space.
Yeah, and I was trying to bring it up, but then you started talking. I was like, I'll let him finish, and then you brought up the exact point that I was going to make. It's like, damn. But so kind of circling back to that comment I made earlier about Metal Gear Solid coming out in September, Uncharted 4 was supposed to come out fall 2015. Unfortunately, it has been delayed until spring of 2016, according to Naughty Dog, Bruce Straley, and what's his name? The other guy from
the other guy.
Bruce Straley and the other guy. Neil Druckmann. Thank you. That sucks. It's really
it's disappointing. I really like to believe that games being delayed is a good sign.
It is a good sign. There's but it's just Naughty Dog. We haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
And
No. Uncharted was delayed, but it was only delayed like a couple months.
Which one? Wait, which one?
No, sorry. Last of Us was delayed.
Oh yeah. And it started with that one, but that was like a new franchise, right? You know what I mean? Like that and whatever. So
and then and
then I liken this to Batman because Rocksteady never delayed anything, and then that happened. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing. We know that because they're
putting work into it, right?
Yeah, they're gonna fix whatever. And also, it's not that far off of the Christmas release, right? It's spring. It's not like Batman where it was
it must be like out already.
Months longer.
It's the same as Batman. Batman was supposed to be October, and now it's June. And Uncharted was supposed to be fall 2015, now it's spring 2016. It's the same jump.
Well, spring is a bit better than June.
But they also the difference is though they gave you more time. Like this, they told us now, like almost a year in advance, that it's going to be moving back another 6 months.
Yeah.
This with Batman, they're like, we're like 3 months away. They're like, oh yeah, no, it's another 6 months. Sorry.
Yeah, that was worse. That was way worse. Yeah. They should have known by that time.
Yeah, and they probably did. Like a lot of people said that with Batman, like they knew they weren't going to make that date, but they said it anyway because.
But people saw the demo too.
So. Yeah, and they're like, come on, really. You're pulling our leg, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, see there it comes." The other shoe fell, and it was delayed.
And like with Batman, it just sucks that we were looking so forward to play this one this fall. Like that was game.
And then we got Mordor, and it filled in that gap for us.
Yeah,
slightly. I mean, hardly, but what else is coming out this fall? Coming up.
I didn't play that one though, so it didn't fill in my gap for that.
Yeah. So like you said, like a lot of people are concerned that now Sony doesn't really have anything for fall. 2015, like the major release time if you don't have something for fall for Christmas, that's big. Like that sells your console, and they don't have anything now for that time. I don't know what
maybe the sales of the PS4 have played into this as well because they are selling.
Yeah.
So they're not too worried, even though that's a bad mindset.
And that does remind me actually as well. Morpheus, the VR headset for the PlayStation 4, its release window was also announced. At GDC this last week. It's coming out next year, 2016. it seems so far away when they're like, oh, Uncharted is this year. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Then now saying it's spring. That's like a full year from now.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty close, or
it's spring 2015 right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's
just such a bummer. I think it's more of a bummer than Batman was for some reason. I don't know why, but
they're on the same level for me.
For me, Uncharted a bit more because I don't know.
There's something about that series, man. Something about that series.
I guess because we had Last of Us, which was a different take, and that was so great. Mm-hmm. And then with Batman, we had Origins, so I got my fill with that, which seemed pretty close to when this new Batman game was coming out. But you get a PS4 because Uncharted, right? Like it's exclusive to the PS4 that everyone wants. Yeah. And just to have it pushed to 2016, it just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's really crappy.
It's for the better, though. We know that.
I mean, as long as it is for the better, as long
it's
as
like we're talking about this like it's like when like a loved one passed away. It's like who were ill for a long time.
Yeah.
And, like it's for the best. They were suffering, but like it's just like we're kind of like trying to console ourselves. It's like it's not coming now.
Yeah.
But it's for the best. It's for the best.
And it's
okay.
Just weird though, because that 15-minute gameplay was just
that's a weird analogy.
A little bit. That 15-minute gameplay was like, okay, this game's ready to go.
Yeah, it looked like great, but only that piece of it was.
But and also everyone's still forgetting that Druckmann and all these people took over Uncharted 4.
True. Yeah.
From Amy and all those people when all those people got fired, like
there was a whole transition.
Like everyone just forgot about that. Like
I can't. Well, you know what? I need to like set myself a reminder in my phone so that when the game comes out, it'll be like, hey, remember all these people that got fired? So I don't forget because it's so easy.
I won't forget because that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, like
since that Neil and all them, maybe they're changing this, they're changing that, and look, guess what? We need 6 more months or whatever.
Guess what? I agree. So, developer, I already talked about that. Bayonetta 2. Jeremy, I don't know if you played Bayonetta, but we talked about it being one of the few games for the Wii U that was exclusive this last year.
Right.
Yasuki Hashimoto is his name, and he would like to do a game in the Spider-Man universe, specifically with Spider-Gwen, which is a alternate version of Spider-Man where Gwen Stacy gets bit by the spider instead of Peter Parker.
Sounds perfect concoction to me.
Yeah, he does pretty crazy. It'd be really weird if he like over sexualized Gwen Stacy like he did with, but like other than that, I think Marvel probably wouldn't let that happen. But like,
no, it's not gonna happen. It's never.
No. It's just cool. Like that's like one of those dream things where like that's like I like to see that happen. I would love to see Wolverine.
Oh, I'm all for like random studios taking on big properties, like
more creative people behind.
Yeah, like we don't really see that much. We saw it kind of with Nintendo with Metroid Other M.
Yeah,
they gave that to I guess the Ninja Gaiden studio or whatever.
Yeah,
that didn't turn out too well, but I still want to see more of that. You know what I mean? It's unproven, so it's not going to happen. You're going to give people IPs that they are already used to doing, kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let's move on. That's the last for the game stuff. There's just a couple more stories, and then we can talk about what we're watching, playing. New costumes. So DC is doing a big storyline called Convergence. It's ending the New 52. We talked about that last show.
Transcendence.
Yeah, I mean, that's why.
Transcendental.
So pissed off that fuck.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
God damn it.
Oh yeah, that's a bad one. Yeah, you're gonna want to remember that.
Won't forget that one.
Ooh, that's a big one. That's a big one. You're gonna want to hold on to that one. Anyway, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman are all getting new costumes. The Batman one's the most interesting to me because it's like super different. But coming out of Convergence, Superman essentially looks like Superboy.
He's wearing a fucking t-shirt.
Great. Okay, yeah, to be fair, Grant Morrison, that's the costume Grant Morrison had Superman in at the beginning of his Superman run at the beginning of the New 52. So that's not unprecedented for Superman to be in jeans and a shirt. That's happened before. Okay, Wonder Woman, also not that big of a change. You have less skin. She's really wearing a turtleneck underneath her armor. She's wearing armor. The cool thing is that her gauntlets have spikes in them, which looks cool. And she's wearing pants too, so there's that. Every once in a while you'll see DC pull back on how much skin Wonder Woman's showing, and then it usually comes back the other way later on. They did the redesign at one point where she was wearing pants and a full shirt, and then they did the New 52, and then all of a sudden she's back to a like a tube top and skirt. So I'm sure it'll come back the other way. It doesn't really matter. But Batman is like in a like mech suit looking thing. People are saying that maybe he's like after the events of Convergence, he's like maybe crippled or something in some way, or a la what happened in Nightfall or something, or maybe it's not even Batman and maybe it's not Bruce Wayne in there at all. Maybe it's just a robot. Who knows? Like that was the most interesting to me. Greg Capullo, who's the artist on the main Batman line, he tweeted out an image that teased the new look. And his art's always great. Go check that out as well. It looks pretty cool. Other than that, looks like DC might be killing off Kyle Rayner, one of the Green Lanterns. Right, currently a White Lantern in the DCU. Mm. So those are just little things to mention. We can move on to what we've been watching / playing. I watched Star Wars Rebels Season 1. The finale was last week, and it did not disappoint. So they went to Mustafar, and you guys will know Mustafar from Episode 3, but they didn't actually go onto the planet. It was like a space battle on battleships above the planet. So that is that. Whatever. It was still so good. They brought in a character... What?
Settle down.
So what it was, I think they brought in a character from Rebels from Clone Wars into Rebels. People were wondering about their what happened to them. So now that one of those questions has been answered. They totally upended, like the villains are going to be completely different for season 2, and a major step up. We're talking. Darth Vader himself is like going to be like the main villain of next season, which is huge. It'd be interesting if they get James Earl Jones to voice him, or if they'll get that guy. There's so many people who do the impressions or do that voice for like animated stuff as well. But they did have James Earl Jones do it before, so maybe they'll get him back in a larger role. Either way, it sets up season 2 as a pretty big status quo change. It to me is a lot like it. The first season progressed in a very similar way like Arrow did. The first season a little bit rocky in the way up, then it really starts to hit its stride. And now going through the second half of season 1 through now, I'm guessing just whenever season 2 starts, it's like we're talking like pure Star Wars. Like it's like the best kind of stories you can ask for. The perfect mix of comedy and action, adventure, everything. You got now. I don't want to spoil it because that's how much I liked it. That I want you guys to check it out and please, even if you haven't watched Clone Wars, just watch it. Anyway, I have other stuff too, but I'll let you guys go with what you guys have been playing or watching.
Oh, all the stuff I've been doing is kind of a little dated. I've been watching Arrow a lot. Caught up on Arrow almost. It's fucking awesome.
How much do you... Okay, hold on. Let me ask you about this. This is a little old, but how much did you like Manu Bennett as Deathstroke?
No, he's awesome. He's fantastic.
How cool... Like, in the way they did the suit was pretty cool. Like, it didn't look very... Yeah. Like, at the first, it looked kind of cheesy, but, like, the more that they used it, like...
I don't know. I kind of preferred it with the mask versus the motorcycle helmet sort of thing. Like... But whatever. That's not a big deal. Also, like, you've talked a lot about how the first season was rocky, but I loved... Season 1 and 2 were the best.
Really?
Season 3 has been rocky for me. It's been a little, like, I don't really care as much anymore. There's nothing really for me to latch onto. Until it started crossing over with Flash, and now I'm into it again. Like, there was a couple crossover episodes I was like, holy fuck.
The Captain Boomerang?
Yeah.
Right? Asher.
How good is what's his name, though?
Perfect. God damn.
How good is what's his name? Who are we talking about?
Asher. Yeah, Asher.
Asher, right, as Captain Boomerang.
That's the other thing. Also, my girlfriend and I have been watching Spartacus.
So you're really watching the same shows.
Well, yeah, they're the same actor.
Yeah, the guy who plays Spartacus is showing up in Flash
next week. Yeah, next week.
He's the tornado guy or something.
He's Weather Wizard.
Yeah.
Liam McIntyre?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that like they literally just took every actor and actress from that show and they just put them all. It
happens. It happens. This is TV actor.
Oh, it's fine though. It makes sense, I guess.
And like they're all great. Then nobody does a bad job. So it's
Surprised that there wasn't more like those actors being used for Daredevil, because Stephen DeKnight being over at Marvel for that.
It's almost too late because they're all signed up to these shows.
Yeah, every single one. There was nothing left. He couldn't take anymore. And we always forget that, like, even Amanda Waller is a Spartacus, from Spartacus too.
Yeah.
What's her fucking name? Doesn't matter. Keep going.
Yeah, no.
Cynthia something.
Yeah, doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, what you say, you've been watching Arrow, Spartacus. We've spoken at length about how much we love those shows. So there's not much more to say there. Anything else, Dan?
No, I've been training Mortal Kombat. I'm pumped for the new Mortal Kombat game.
Training.
I've been training. Yeah, I've been nonstop.
When does that come out again? What exactly?
Comes out the day before we leave for Cuba, actually.
That's gonna be tough for you.
April 14th.
Oh.
I'm gonna lose my online ranking right away.
Okay, Jeremy, what have you been playing?
Nothing actually.
Smash Bros. Lots of Smash Bros.
Every now and then, yeah, for sure.
You guys want to talk about how online Smash Bros. Has kind of like ruined it for you. You mentioned that.
Well, for me, a long time ago, I said it's changed the experience because everyone wants to leave an imprint, right? We want our online infrastructure, we want our friend list, we want our trophies. So when I go on, I don't want to do all these single player modes because it doesn't showcase anything, it doesn't do anything except for maybe give me more trophies to look at in the game, but nobody can see those, right?
Yes.
So I'd rather just always be in the circle, with people.
Yeah.
So that's why I only play online, and I only play for glory, which is what ranks everything. I'm not saying I'm going to be up there in the top 1,000 or whatever.
But there's no point in not doing it.
There's no point in not doing it because you want to see what people are doing, see their strengths, their weaknesses, learn from them, and save replay, show your friends, and that's all I care about. But back in the day, it was about getting together and then playing, and then all these beautiful accents would happen, these crazy things in games where you just laugh your ass off or get angry at. Like now, it's just like I want to win, and you get frustrated when you lose.
It's one of those weird. Like I don't know, is that like a trend in gaming? Because there are games that come out, that have come out recently that are coming out that will care about the story. Uncharted, Batman are two examples of will care about the story.
But there's no story in Smash. That's the thing. It's all about
Yes.
gameplay and your interactions with the gameplay, and those interactions are with friends together with you. But that doesn't happen that a lot.
The other thing I'll say is I also, we talk about what we've been playing. I recently booted up my PS2 and started playing Mortal Kombat Deception just because I've been reading the comic and I'm like trying to just recap the story for myself, whatever.
Right.
But I'm finding it a lot harder to play through that conquest than I did back in the day, because and maybe that's because it's dated, but maybe
because
it's because
the conquest style with interacting with all these people, nowadays it would be online. You would see other people doing the conquest. You could talk to them,
potentially
that's what I would think.
I don't know. Yeah, like part of it is it's the graphics and the story are both, and the voice acting is horrible. Like it's
but
very
what
dated.
if that conquest world was inhabited by people online?
Yeah, of
you
course.
feel like you're part of something.
And
you can
worthwhile.
change something.
Yes.
Now it's a set thing. You know where this person is. And
It's weird. I don't know what precedent that sense. I don't know if I really want it to be that world, but
you don't like populated with online people.
Like I don't want that to be the only option.
Yeah.
I like having Uncharted and Batman.
Okay, then what's
as
your
a
problem?
personal experience.
What's your problem with playing the conquest mode then?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm having a hard time deciding what the problem is because I've been playing it, and then I'm like, there's been points where I'm like, I'm kind of wasting my time. I might as well go play Mortal Kombat online.
Yeah. Because then you're leaving your imprint. Then you're
and then I'm interacting with somebody else, and that's the virtue of online gaming. But if it takes away that much from the story, I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, well, that leaves only one thing left to talk about: House of Cards Season 3.
Did you watch it?
I'm not done. I'm about a quarter of the way through, maybe half. I don't know. I don't know.
I flew through it.
But at first I thought I was a little concerned because the first two seasons, there's almost a very clear objective and goal for our main characters, right? Yeah. And they're trying to the whole season you're watching them progress towards that and how he's doing that.
And they're almost like invincible supervillains.
Right, exactly. So and then in season 3, he's achieved his goal, right? And
maintain it now.
And then exactly, and I'm like, well, what's the
Well,
what's the objective? Like, why am I caring?
The new goal is to get the second term.
Yeah, exactly. Which wasn't at first in the first 2 episodes, I'd say that wasn't like clear. That wasn't made clear. But that once you kind of got an idea of what was happening and why and how they were doing this, exploring this like whole presidency thing.
Right.
I don't think it's any spoilers to say that he's the president in season 3. You know,
Too
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's what like the ads were all based on. Like once you kind of get you wrap your mind around what's happening, then you're right back in it. You understand why you love this show so much. And I was a little worried going in, and the first episode I was like, I don't know, but then boom, right away, right back in it.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I think you have every right to be worried because it's just a natural progression, though, right? You start off with these 2 people who are just hungry for power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's so much cooler to see them trample over people, to get to the top. And now they're there, and it's just like it's like a realistic show now. They're not supervillains anymore. He rarely even breaks the fourth wall and talks to us anymore.
It's like once an episode.
What's that?
It's like once an episode.
Yeah, like before, it was so cool. He's like telling us he's going to do this, he's going to do that.
Yeah,
I'm using him to believe this, so then I can do this. And now he doesn't have to manipulate anyone that much anymore.
No, and instead he's just telling people what to do.
Yeah,
and, he just yells at people. That's all.
That was the best part, and it's over now. But that's a natural progression. When they rise, you must see them fall or struggle. We're at that point. So it's necessary, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, and you said you've seen the whole season. Like, I don't want, like I said, don't
I won't
spoil it.
All I'll say is I enjoyed the first 2 much more than this one.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I mean, I actually really got back into it because, and what I want to do is kind of go back and look at when season 1 and 2, when he's dealing with the president at the time. I can't even remember what his name was in the first 2 seasons, and if they really kind of explored what his struggles were, because now we're exploring those same struggles.
Oh, they were
those struggles, but now it's from his perspective, which is different.
Francis was fucking up the president, man. That was his goal. He was his right hand man. He was the VP, and he was strategically fucking him up so he'd be impeached.
Yeah, or they threatened to impeach him, and he would step down.
And that was really cool seeing that.
But spoilers for season 2.
Well, the president catches on, and then Francis still manages to convince him of all this to do things.
And that's what's so great about the show is seeing Francis's ability to manipulate, right, and to control. And then once you realize that he is in the most powerful political position in the world in season 3, and his ability to now trying to manipulate. And not being able to do it as well because you're being handcuffed by everyone's eyes are on you all the time, right?
And season 1 and 2 could theoretically just end there. Like when he taps that desk at the end in the Oval Office, that's it. It's done. It's like that's such a cool little series. Yeah, he did it. Yeah,
it's like it's so weird because really, like you said, they're invincible supervillains. Like we're the stars the heroes of our show are not heroic in any way, But at
any moment they could get caught. That's the risk.
Yeah.
I mean, in their tyranny kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's very cool. This is how Lex Luthor should have been portrayed. In that crappy.
It's when you're watching this show, it's probably one of the most epic shows you'll be a part of, and it's just a shame that. You haven't kept watching it, Daniel.
Right? People
just need to get into it.
And this is the problem we talked about. We talked about this before about how releasing everything at once, the Netflix model, right?
Yeah.
Of not allowing for that conversation that surrounds other shows. Even you can do it we're doing it now, but we're tiptoeing around little things that you don't know if I've seen or I don't want to get spoiled, right? So it's it makes it so much more difficult. But I mean. There's just nothing you can really do better. Yahoo? Yeah, Yahoo with Community are doing the first 2 episodes of Community at the same time, and then they're doing weekly after that, kind of like they did before, which I admire. I'm like, okay, cool.
That's the way to go.
Cool
I think.
Mix,
yeah.
But and again, with Daredevil coming out, it's like boom! I can book a whole day off for all Saturday.
The idea of booking a day off to watch all of Daredevil in one day.
I want to book a day off. I book a day off more so for a video game or something, I guess.
Yeah.
I do that with Smash.
tell you, April's gonna be stupid. Daredevil, Game of Thrones, and Mortal Kombat all come out in April, and then there's also
Yeah, but Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones is weekly though.
I know, but it's just gonna be a lot. It's like
Yeah, and then it's a lot of work too because doing that podcast every week.
work.
For what?
Play Mortal Kombat.
It's Mortal Kombat is like just purely your series. Like none.
You guys don't
me or
understand.
Jeremy.
Like, you talk about how I know Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or Star Wars.
No,
I know Mortal Kombat on that same level. I fucking love that.
I think I do too, to a certain extent. I just not as much as you,
I'm
but
pumped for Mortal Kombat.
But I think this time around I'm not going to buy it. I think I'm going to wait for the Ultimate Kombat Edition.
I can't
How
do
did you
that.
say it like
I-
that?
No, I know you are. I just because they always release the one with the 4 DLC characters for a cheaper price, and you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, just get the season pass. You can do it right away, and you get the first DLC.
it's
all
more
the
money though. You're paying $69.99, so we're paying $80 for the full
I
game.
think you're paying close to 100 with the season pass, but you're getting the first 4 DLC.
Yeah, or I just wait and then I get $39.99 for everything. Because I'm not gonna,
That's a year away though.
Yeah, but I don't play Mortal Kombat online though. I play for the story. I don't play for online.
that's weird, but
That's a weird decision.
You know,
That's
mind
the
you,
story.
that's not rich at all.
a lot of people use it. Like Mortal Kombat's never been known for certain.
I'm never
the
gonna
last
be-
game was great.
I'm never gonna be like great gameplay wise at beating people in Mortal Kombat. I play because I love that world. I love the
Yeah,
characters.
it's fun. Yeah.
Like ever since the first one, I just love knowing the little tidbits about them, and I want to see what they're going through this time around. Even though that's not the main focus for a lot of people, but it's starting to shift. Like people for like Call of Duty, people are buying those games for the campaign every now and then. You know what I mean? Like you see that a lot, right?
And yes, with Mortal Kombat 9 and now there's new one. They put a lot of work into the stories. They're
Right.
actually worthwhile. Versus the other games, the stories are kind of just goofy, and you don't
Yeah.
really care. You just want to see the fatalities.
And then the only reason why I buy it too is to play you online every now and then too, right? But like again, it's just a very repetitive fighting game to me.
Yeah.
When it's like a Street Fighter Mortal Kombat thing, you know what I mean? Like where Smash, I think it's just a bit. There's just more things that can happen, especially with items and whatnot.
I
If you play with
guess,
items.
but we never really do.
No, but before we did, is what I'm saying.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up there. Find us on Twitter at Tower of Babble Podcast. That's where you're gonna find everything. That's at symbol T
I don't think you have to explain that. I feel like
OWERBABBLE cast at Tower of Babble Cast.
So yeah, babble like talking, not babble like the biblical version.
Yeah, that's important. Facebook, we're on Facebook as well. Instagram. I feel like there's not a social media site that we're not on.
Tinder, we're on Tinder.
We're not on Tinder. Yeah, it's hard as as a podcast. It's very hard to date. It's really hard to find a consensus for like one girl that we think would all would work for us three at the same time. It's very difficult. So we just tried to avoid that altogether. Other than that, send us any emails to any questions, comments, any tips,
Concerns.
Yeah, please. I'm
Don't
really
say any
concerned.
concerns. We don't
I'm really concerned. Well, no, I'm really more concerned about Daniel's like obsession with like words and how people use them in movies.
An obsession about deleting people off Twitter.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that after. But you're gonna use
You know
it
what?
properly. I'm really upset that I said transcendental instead of
Yeah,
transcendent.
that's terrible.
And
Yeah,
it's the way at me.
Daniel, we're
No,
never
wait,
gonna
really-
we'll
I can't
never let you live it
hear
down.
what you have to say about these people on Twitter that you don't like.
Yeah, wait, what's
It's
wrong
really
with
not
you?
important at all. It's just one dude.
Just looking at okay. Well.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, Tower Babble Podcast at gmail.com. Is there an of in there? Tower of Babble. I think it's Tower of Babble Podcast at gmail.com. You don't have to double check that.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks, maybe live.
Think?
2 weeks live. Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks.
We'll
I
let
can
you
make
know.
it. No, we will. It's our duty as podcasters to be there for our listeners in 2 weeks. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with another live show. Again, make sure to follow. YouTube. That's the one. Tower Babble Cast. That's where you're going to find all of our live shows. We stream the whole thing live. We're live right now for anyone's listening. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And like I said, we'll be back in 2 weeks. And I'm going to play the outro music because it's much harder to do this live. Oh, there it is. Again, 2 weeks.
I hope we're talking over the outro music.
Yeah, you are. You're ruining it.
Can you just like turn down a dial like slowly as we're talking?
Well, no. You don't know anything about the actual process of actually making this podcast, do you? Also, welcome to the after show.
No.
We are live doing the after show.
Is that the longest one yet, or what?
Probably, but I'm gonna try to break some of it out. We're live doing the after show. Unless you guys want to break some of it out, try your hand at.
You have nothing else to do.
Don't tell me that. I work fucking. Just because no one's at my restaurant doesn't mean I'm not working. I work.
You're at a
50 hours a
restaurant. Who
week.
cares?
50 hours a week. It's not about.
Oh, it's not even that long.
And what? They're all at night. Who cares?
No, you guys make it sound like
You
guys make it sound like I'm living in paradise or something.
You fucking make it sound like that. You.
Or join us for some off-topic conversation. I'm really excited about after the after show to find out what this person is on Twitter. I'm right with Jeremy. It's really weird for you to bring it up.
Now isn't the show over?
No, well, yeah, it's the after show.
What up?
We're still live. We're still live.
Twitter beef.
What beef?
With some
Oh,
guy.
let's get off live and we'll talk about it. This is.
Okay, well-
I'm looking at him right now.
What did he say? Did you see him say this too?
I haven't seen anything. Yeah.
No, it's nothing. He didn't do anything to us or me.
Go on live now. Like, what the hell? Go off live.
Oh, well, what kind of after show is that? Only 3 minutes? That's
No one's listening to us anymore.
Well, if that attitude.
I guess the whole point is that all the interesting stuff was before was during the show. The after show.
That's why you get to know us as people. Like, for instance, I got bit by a blister bug, which I never heard of before. But I'll give you one guess what happens when you get bit by a blister bug.
You get a wart.
Ah, that's a good guess. No, you get a blood blister, and it's really painful.
Huh.
And they're very small, which is really annoying.
Blister. Nothing.
Anyway, whatever. You guys know I'm going to Tampa on Saturday?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm going to Tampa on Saturday for 3 days. See the Jets game in Tampa Bay.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why are you doing that?
To go see, because I want to see a Jets game. I haven't seen a hockey game all year. Is that okay?
I'll allow it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. They lost, by the way. I just looked at the score. They lost to the fucking Panthers, man. What's going on back in the Peg City? It's good. I started warming up over there.
It actually is. Most of the snow is gone.
That's really weird. It's so weird.
Should be
It's
gone.
like it's the beginning of March and all the snow's gone already.
Should all be gone by Sunday.
That's so weird, man.
I don't know. I expected it'll snow again before March.
You guys didn't get, I guess, probably, but you're not going to get that much, maybe. You guys got, not that much snow, I guess, this year.
No, the majority of it melted. Like,
Yeah, but you guys, you didn't get that much to begin with, is what I'm saying, right?
I guess. Good community.
What about it?
Is community or no?
Yeah, it is. It's on Jeremy's TV. No, there wasn't that much. It was a pretty mild winter.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
It's the only winter I've never.
I had
snow.
maybe 10 cold
I don't
days.
care about the snow. I just care about the coldness.
Yeah, I'm saying we had maybe 10 really cool days, and most of them were recently.
Huh. Well, Jimmy, did you do a lot of skating this year or what?
Probably went about 10 times.
Really? Oh, wow. We went 10 times in 2 weeks last winter.
Yeah.
Without me, you guys just started.
But it was pretty cold a lot, and then I thought, and
Yeah, and then all of a sudden now it's melted. It is so weird because we used to go so often. Adam's still playing hockey in that league.
yeah, he already texted you about it. You got a hat trick.
He did not get a hat trick.
Yeah, he
I
did.
don't believe him. I don't believe him.
He's like, you used to send a message all the time when you did stuff good, and you want him to answer, and then he sent one to you and you didn't answer him because you were jealous.
I am jealous. I'm just jealous. I'm just jealous that he's playing hockey, not so much that he scored a hat trick. That is actually cool. If he did score a hat trick, good for him. I still don't believe him. I think it's.
Is that what he sent to you though?
Yeah, I think so. I can find it. I can find it on
Hey,
here.
well, I don't know.
Hey, motherfucker, did you book Cuba yet or no?
I have to. I can't. I just because I asked for that time. Oh, listen, it's gonna happen. It'll happen. It'll happen.
So stupid, Joe. Why would you
It's gonna
prevent?
be very last minute though.
You
That's all.
prevented us from booking a trip for you. You realize
Yeah.
that, right?
Well, no, you did book a trip.
Yeah, but you prolonged it. We missed an opportunity one time because of you.
Okay, I told you I'm coming.
It's not about that. You understand what you've done?
What have I done? You're still going on a trip.
Yeah, but then you...
It's not a big deal, but you made it more difficult for everybody else.
And
Okay.
you don't realize that for some reason.
Well, no, I get it. But I mean, the fact that it's still happening is like, that's kind of the point.
No, it's fine. I'm really not worried about it. We're going for 10 days to Tropical Paradise. I'm happy.
Yeah, we're going
Just
regardless.
fucking make it happen
I'm
already.
going regardless. I'm just saying, you're just weird, that's all.
No, I mean, it's like, it's, you have to understand it's very hard to tiptoe around my boss here. So I'm going to Tampa. I had that planned for a long time. So to ask for time off again right now.
So you want to tell him after you get back?
Yeah, well, I'm going to wait like a week.
How much is Tampa going to cost?
Tampa is, round trip is $400 US for the flights. Another $150 for the hotel.
How many days? You're just there for one night?
I'm there Saturday. I leave Saturday, game Saturday night.
Yeah.
I'm there Sunday all day. Probably get some shopping done, and I'm back Monday.
Huh.
So you'll have enough money for Cuba.
Yeah. Especially if we move out of my apartment and move onto the boat. I'll have even more.
You're gonna live on the boat? You just said?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
You're just gonna live on the boat.
Yeah, I don't want, what, yeah. Yeah.
The parent spot.
Yes. All very simple. Come on. Holy crap. Have you seen the concept art for this for the Star Wars Rogue One? It looks super cool. Like this is I wish I could put this in the show. I guess I could.
We still
it looks like Band of Brothers or like Saving Private Ryan, but with so I'll paint a picture for you. Okay, there's a guy in a dropship. He's holding on to like a above handle.
Why can't we just Google it?
You could Google it, but I'm listen. He's in like a green camo. But
I'm gonna listen when you say listen.
He's got like the rogue like the rebel like helmet on,
yeah.
But it's raining. This is on a raining planet, and there's a guy pointing like in a
raining planet.
The planet's that it's raining on the planet,
Mm.
in the distance are AT-ATs like blowing shit up. It looks fucking crazy, man. Holy crap! If I'd known this before we wow, that looks cool. I hope that's exactly what the movie's like. Look it up. Like I'm gonna say.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It doesn't really look like Star Wars, hey? The only fact, in fact, you would say if you just cover up the AT-ATs in the back, you'd say that's not Star Wars. You know, you could say that could be almost any movie, right? Say yes. Huh?
He disagrees.
Ugh.
Do you know does that not excite you?
Say.
Does that not titillate you?
Say.
Alright, whatever. Do you guys hear that the ice caps are moving back to Winnipeg?
The witch.
The Moose.
The Moose are coming back, yeah.
So we're gonna have 2 hockey teams now.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
At least for a little while. They think they want to move it somewhere else. But
Yeah, I don't think it'll be here forever, but it's just so weird how they're gonna bring the Moose back.
while we have the Jets, it's like a jinx. Like I don't want to. It's like it's jinxing it. I don't even want to do it.
I say I already hate going to restaurants when there's a Jets game on. I don't need this shit in my life.
What do you mean?
I fucking hate it. I try to go out for dinner with my girlfriend and there's a Jets game. And
So don't go downtown.
not even go downtown.
I'm
No,
going
it's,
to Applebee's all the time.
no, it's not even about that. It's just it's anywhere you fucking go. It doesn't matter.
Jeremy, that was
It's not too young to look at TV.
I know I don't have to look at you, but there's people screaming and yelling and drunk as shit and annoying my.
So wait, you sound like an old fucking man.
I know I'm a Kermit. I fucking
Yeah,
get
I don't
up-
want to. I don't want there being more hockey because it's ruining my romantic dinner with my girlfriend. That you choose to go out on.
I just like to go out and drink, and I don't want to fucking deal with these people.
You don't have to.
I have to.
No, see, you always complain about these things, but it's like your choice to go do these things.
Okay, so then the opposite is like, oh, I could just choose to stay inside.
No, you could choose to go somewhere else.
Where is somewhere else? They play the Jets game everywhere.
No, they go somewhere there's not TV on.
Damn, that's never going to change.
No, I want to know what you want me to do about it.
That's never going to
Go
change.
to a place where there's not a TV.
Well, that's not a fucking thing. Where is there not a TV?
You know, if you went to the Moxie's lounge, there isn't fucking people free.
Yes, there
50
have
people
been.
freaking
And
out.
I specifically have been to
Yeah,
Moxie's, and there's been drunk guys coming up and trying to talk to me about the fucking Jets that I don't care about.
There's a restaurant and a lounge in BP and in
And
stuff.
they're playing
so
the
there you
game
go.
no matter what.
Yeah, but people aren't loud and obnoxious in that area.
Yes,
they're
they
loud.
are.
There's no TV in the BP in the restaurant side either.
There are small TVs, but no one's loud. They don't go there to watch it. They will go to the other side. They don't go there.
I will tell you that I've been to both, and I've had the same experience in both.
Yeah, but it's not gonna happen every fucking time.
No,
Guarantee that.
you know, it's really not a big deal, but you guys are making a big deal.
I'm not making a big deal.
You're making it out of a big
It's like
deal.
you're taking issue with it. Like, it's like I don't need another hockey team here. I don't need another thing for people
No,
to
but
make
it doesn't
noise
make no
about.
sense. It's a team that's a brand new hockey team in Winnipeg. It's gonna be on everywhere, no matter what. That's never gonna change.
I know, and I don't have to pick it either.
Dan, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about AHL.
I am allowed to complain about it. Of course, I'm allowed to.
Okay.
But then
Okay,
you're
Dan.
gonna be complaining forever because nothing's gonna change.
I'm still gonna go out for dinner with my girlfriend. I'm
Dan, listen.
allowed to complain as well.
Yeah, but you can complain, but you're gonna be complaining forever because nothing's gonna
I'm
change.
not complaining forever. I'm just saying it's annoying.
You're
it's
going
fine.
no, but you're
I
going to
understand
be
why it's a
complaining
thing.
forever.
I understand that you're complaining, but you actually don't have to worry because they're not going to be playing Ice Caps games on the TV. We don't see Ice Caps games here. We're not going to see Moose games on the
No one's
TV.
gonna cheer for the Ice Caps.
There used to be Moose games on the TV before the Jets. Now
They were on like the the Shaw channel.
there were still people that are Moose fans that watched those.
Yeah, but that was never an issue. That's not gonna you're not gonna have the same amount of people
One
cheering for them.
traumatic experience where a guy was yelling.
Nothing was traumatic. I'm just
Like,
go out. It's like that.
Every time, there isn't a Jets game on every single day of the week.
Sorry?
There isn't a Jets game on every single day.
No, I know, and I make a conscious effort to avoid going out on nights that.
So I don't actually understand this complaint. Like, what is the alternative? You want them to either not play the game,
Just
or
wants
there
to
not be a
complain
team.
is what he's saying.
You don't want there to be a
What are you
team.
talking about? Like nobody.
It doesn't make any sense. You don't want there to be a team because it's ruining your dinners, or like you don't want there to be people. You don't want there to be fans of the team watching them. Like
I don't understand why somebody needs to be in a restaurant and screaming at a TV. It doesn't affect your life. It's annoying me.
You're
and everyone else, and
over-exaggerating.
that's it.
No one's screaming.
I'm not
nonstop.
over-exaggerating. That's literally
I've
what
never
happens.
been in a restaurant where someone's
Yes, you absolutely have.
Where someone's
that
screaming.
happens every time you go out for dinner. There's somebody screaming at a TV.
There's no one screaming
There
at
are
a
people
TV.
screaming at a TV.
Stop
This sounds
saying
so
that.
personal.
That's never happened when I've been at a
I
restaurant.
don't understand. You're lying. Like
I'm not lying. They go to the bar and they drink beer at the lounge part. Not
Also,
the
it's different if
restaurant
they're screaming at a TV in the bar than the restaurant.
part. No, because I'm not in
Absolutely.
that section. If I want a quiet dinner, I won't go there. If
I'm not asking for. I don't. I don't want. It doesn't matter if I'm in the lounge or not. I don't need people screaming at TV.
Man,
So,
this argument makes no sense. You can't you're upset that the Jets exist and that there's fans of them. Like that's what you're upset
I'm not
about.
at all upset about that. I'm upset that they make it my business.
They don't make it your business. You are making
They
it your
do. They
business.
physically come up to me and talk to me about it, so it makes it my business.
And it makes it very easy for you to say no, thank you. I don't want to talk about this or whatever.
I don't shit.
Daniel, I'm sorry you have to deal with
You're
human
making it
beings.
sound like a pandemic because I've never had someone like.
You know what? It's at that point because it's happened. A couple times. It's more than.
So now
it's happened more than 2 times. It's enough for it to annoy me. It's enough for me to be invalidated and complaining about it.
No, there's no reason to complain because there's nothing to complain about. There's nothing to complain about. You're upset that there's fans of the Winnipeg Jets watching Jets games.
You like it. You're into that kind of conversation.
Okay, but
it's annoying to me.
What I'm saying is that the people watching the games, it's not their responsibility to worry about the one person in the room that doesn't care.
No, Julian.
Okay.
It's everybody's responsibility to worry about it. You don't get to just be in a room and yell and scream and do whatever you want because
if you're in a sports bar or if you're in a bar that's playing a game with the
Doesn't matter.
sound on, you absolutely have that right to do that.
absolutely not.
Yes, you do.
You don't have a right to disturb other people because
but it's not disturbing anyone else. It's only disturbing you.
Are you not listening? I'm talking about people that have come up to me and my girlfriend and talk and try to yell and scream at us and at the TV.
Why would there? No.
Excited.
Now you're saying that there are people coming up and yelling at you.
Not yelling at me. There are people that are talking to me about the Jets that I don't give a shit about.
Okay, that's fine, but
Fuck
again,
off. Go enjoy
it's your prerogative if that bothers you so much to go to things where the game's not on.
No, that's a ridiculous thing.
No, it's not, Dana. It's more ridiculous
It's
to
your
say that those people
responsibility to not go out of
should
your
change.
house. No, fuck that.
Yes, it
That's
is.
ridiculous.
It's absolutely more ridiculous to say that all those people who are watching the game should change because you don't like it.
I'm
That's more ridiculous
saying they
than
don't.
saying you should go somewhere else.
I'm saying you don't need to be drunk as shit and go and talk to everybody in the bar about how good the Jets are. I don't care.
Okay, but if that guy's
Take other people's business.
if the game's not on, that guy's drunk as shit and talking about something else. So if you're really bothered by people
I
coming up
don't
to you in a
understand why
bar,
you're not listening. I'm telling you, he has specifically come up to me and done this.
This is one
One
person
guy.
who keeps doing this to you.
No, it's been a couple different people at different bars.
I feel like, Jeremy, how funny would it be if it was this one guy just following him around?
That'd be hilarious. It would be cute at that point, and I wouldn't be as upset.
It would make more sense, but
Your argument would make more sense.
It's happened enough times. It's not that it happens every time. It's happened enough times for it to be a valid complaint.
no, I just don't get it because it's never happened to me. Like,
It's annoying though. People at the next table, they're yelling and screaming and banging the table and spilling drinks, breaking glasses, and then turn over me. And I'm not as excited about the Jets, and I'm the bad guy.
I'm not saying you're a bad guy.
Ridiculous.
I'm just saying this doesn't happen like on a regular basis to me.
I just know, where are you going? Like, what are these places that you're
honestly,
finding these
Moxie's BP, like it's nowhere. Like it's just normal places to go for a fucking.
Well, BP is a sports bar, so that's understandable.
Again, that's not an excuse.
It is if you're trying to avoid people, if you don't want to listen to people talk about sports.
Like, that's like saying someone goes to a strip bar and it's okay for them to grab some girl that happens to attend the same.
No,
strip bar.
that's not.
Of course, it's because it's a strip bar.
Not okay. No. That'd be
because
like
I'm at a sports
what you're
bar.
saying is like going to a
sports team.
No, if we're gonna use that analogy, it's like if you go to a strip club and complaining that there's naked girls on the fucking.
No, it's not. That would be the analogy. Would be me going to a sports bar and complaining that there's sports on the TV. That would be the same thing, right?
Well, no, that's what you're saying because you don't like that it's on the TV and there's people watching it. It's just an extension of that. Because there's people watching it, that's why it's on the TV.
That's not just like a normal extension. That's not something a normal person does. You don't get to just say, "Oh, well, it's a sports bar, so you're allowed to talk about sports."
Well, no, yes, it absolutely means that.
You need to make it everyone else's business. You can do that with as much as you want.
There is an implicit agreement. If you're in a sports bar and there's a game on,
and
that you're gonna be you're not completely disengaged.
You anybody you want and talk to them. If they don't want to talk to you, then you don't talk to them. But they have the right to go and talk to people.
Yeah,
like you're not allowed to talk to people,
and I'm not allowed to complain about that. Like that's
no, because it's a completely ridiculous thing to say.
I'm not saying complain.
What is ridiculous about what I'm saying? It's ridiculous for me to be offended by that, by somebody coming up being drunk as shit, stealing glasses.
I just want to complain because you say it happens basically 100%.
It's happened more than enough times for me to. It's happened more than once. It's happened more than twice.
Exactly, that's low numbers to me, and I haven't had that though, so that's why it's weird to me.
Well, all I'm saying is I actually make a conscious effort to avoid going out to places like that when I know there's a Jets game on because I know these people are going to be there.
Okay, and that's what I'm saying. That's the choice you need to make, and you
shouldn't have to worry.
Okay, then that's the right choice.
Trying to prove, but
you kept saying I shouldn't have to do all this stuff. That's what you were saying. Dan.
I shouldn't have to. I should be allowed to go wherever I want.
I know, but then you said
you absolutely can go wherever you want.
You have to make those decisions, though.
Yes, they're putting that impetus on me.
So Dan, either the impetus is on them to change or for you to change. So it's either someone's changing.
Chewy, it's not unreasonable to ask somebody to not bug strangers.
It's unreasonable to ask for people to. It's unreasonable for you to go to a sports bar and be upset that there's sports fans there. That's
unreasonable for a sports fan to use the excuse that I'm a sports fan, therefore I get to be obnoxious and loud and scream in people's faces.
That's what people do when they're drunk and they're everywhere. You've done that.
I have in the past. It doesn't excuse it.
And that's what I said. Is like they would be either drunk and yelling about the Jets, or they'd be drunk and yelling about something else. So really, what you're saying is I don't want to deal with drunk people, which is fine because no one wants to.
Of course. And so, there's a multitude of them when there's a Jets game on, and they are more annoying than normal because normally we go to a bar if there's no Jets game and nobody bothers us. When there's a Jets game, people are yelling and screaming and in my face.
I just feel like this is it seems like you're so much overreacting to like one incident.
I've already told you a few times that it's been more than once.
Yeah, but but has someone come up to you and talk to you more than one time?
More than once, more than twice. I've already said that.
So 3 times.
Probably, I don't know. I haven't kept. It's been enough that it's been more than. It's been a multitude. It's been a few times. Enough times for me to recognize a pattern, and enough times for me to change my behavior based on that pattern.
Which is the normal thing to do in this case.
Yeah, I'm the normal one.
Yes, by choosing by not going out when there's games.
So here's the choice that I'm faced with then. There's a night that I want to go out for dinner. Cassie and I don't have a lot of time together. We have to pick and choose our nights, right?
Okay, sure.
We have basically Thursdays and Sundays together. That's it.
Lots of Jets games on those nights. You're right.
Exactly. So if there's a Jets game on, I have to try to pick and choose. And there are places that are quick and easy, like Moxie's, like BP. You can go get dinner, have a few drinks, and enjoy your time together. But those places are not available to me when there's a Jets game on because, A, it's busy as shit. And everybody there is going to be annoying like that, loud. I can't hear we can't have a conversation. We can't enjoy our dinner.
No, not everybody's going to be like that. Let's put it
Julian, I'm sure. Yes, I'm making generalizations, but it's based on my experience there. I'm not just saying this. This is happening. This is tried and true. I've done this a couple times and had this experience.
Okay, and then now you know, and now you make now you
you're
go
not
to someone
say,
else.
oh well, the sports fans, so deal with it. That's not okay.
Well, no. Yes, it is okay because
it absolutely
yes, it is. Why is it not?
Because just because you're a sports fan doesn't mean you get to disturb other people.
You're just putting sports fan in there is a replacement
You said
for
that,
anything.
not me.
No. Yeah, but that's fine. But it's just people. It's just the people that are bothering you. It has nothing to do with the Jets or the sports or anything. It's just you don't like drunk people talking to you.
Sure.
Which
and
is fine.
what I've just finished explaining to you is that every time there's a Jets game, that happens. Versus times we go no Jets game, that does not happen.
Okay. What I'm saying is the only connection is the fact that when there's Jets games, people are drinking more. That's the only difference.
I think it's the amount that people are drinking and also the type of person that's drinking. So
okay. But again, if you go to a sports bar, those people are likely to be there.
Yeah.
When there's a game on, and they're likely to be drinking more. So
and that is
it's not an unacceptable thing for them to do. That's where they go to get drunk and watch a game. Why should they not be allowed to do that?
They're allowed to do that. They're not allowed to disturb.
But they don't go in there to plan on disturbing other people.
Some of them do.
No, they don't.
Yes, I know people that have.
Their goal
specifically go to bars to get in fights and stuff like. And that's an extreme.
But that's nothing. Yeah, but that's nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It's
no one's going to see a Jets game so they can bug people eating dinner.
No, there are people that go to Jets game. There are people that go out to drink so they can be loud and obnoxious. If you want to do that, go to the fucking game. Go to the actual arena.
Yeah, but maybe they can't afford it.
Then fuck you. Like I don't care.
No,
that's not my issue.
Exactly. Okay, that's fine. But those are the places where they're allowed to go and do that kind of thing.
I don't know why you're taking issue with this. You're misunderstanding me. The only thing I take issue with is when they actually disturb my meal. You understand? Like when they come to my table or they yell and scream to the point that I cannot hear my girlfriend across from me speaking to me. That's a valid complaint. I'm allowed to think that because I'm going to that place. And then there are very few places that aren't like that aren't quote unquote sports bars. There are very few places for us to go late night when we have time after 9 o'clock that you can have a couple of appetizers and a few drinks and enjoy each other's company. Everywhere you go, there's a Jets game on and some drunk asshole. Okay,
well, again, that's a generalization, and those people who want to go watch those games have just as much right to be there as you, and that's the old.
I have never disputed that, Julian. You're not listening.
You just don't like that they're bugging you. That's
yes, that's a normal thing to say. I don't like when people come up to my table.
You pretense this with a bunch of other stuff, Daniel, with being sports fans and Jets and hockey.
I said because that's gonna add to it because that's the pattern. That's the pattern. That's not pretense. That's the fact.
No, it's not a fact. You can't say that every time there's a Jets game on, you can't go for dinner because there's always going to be someone there yelling at you. That's not.
It's gotten to the point that when there are Jets games on, I cannot go for dinner. So yes, that's a fact.
No, Dan, you can't make that statement.
A fact in your opinion.
Ugh.
Anyway, that was a great discussion. I'm glad. You know what? I'm glad I recorded that. That was.
I don't think you needed to record that.
Okay, well, I think that was a good off-topic discussion for a post-show. So we can go off of live now. Hey, we will see you guys later. Let's see. How do you turn this off? Broadcast.